$1 billion, helping over 130 local builders and hundreds of homeowners. We can help you.
Construction loans don't have to be hard. Borrow smart with a common sense construction loan from Legacy Group Capital. Visit LegacyG.com. LegacyG.com.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
This hour is brought to you by the Harnish Auto family.
Get in the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewart is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
Brought to you by Simply Seattle.
We're going to accuse you of interview.
It doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewart and Mike Salk.
All right, let's go. Brock and Salk Show, Seattle Sports, 710, seattlesports.com, the Seattle Sports app, and all the podcast platforms. Oh, yeah, you know where you are. You know which podcast platform you listen on, and you can find us there. Maybe it's Spotify. I haven't talked about Spotify in a while. That's a good spot to find us. Maybe, maybe it's Apple Podcasts, and you can leave us one of those reviews. I should also remind what about 97.3 HD2? I'm terrible in reminding people to do that because it's how I listen to the station most often, like by far. I always listen on 97.3 HD2. Like every car I've had for the last decade plus has had HD radio on it. It's a little weird and hard to use. Humble brag. No, I was trying to say that like it's a lot more common than it used to be. And like it's always complicated to get it to work, but once you do, it's awesome. There's like a ton of extra stations there, and I don't know, it works pretty well here for the station because it sounds crystal clear rather than AM radio. So that's a nice way to do it on 97.3 HD2. And if you are listening on the app, because you've already downloaded it, I should remind everybody that we're only 2 days away from Here's the Thing. Last week was great. I thought there were great Here's the Thing comments last week. So I'm hoping we can duplicate that and that I don't have to go all Jewish mom guilt right off the bat today and tomorrow and that you guys will just kind of bring it anyway. Last week was a little easy. Lyle slept late, right? And Lyle had his kind of disastrous first attempt, I should say, of doing the mean tweets, which we'll hear tomorrow. Will be attempt number 2. Kind of looking forward to that. A chance for redemption. Are you ready? Are you feeling like you're going to be able to go for it?
He redeemed himself a little with the song.
Yeah, I think so. He went for it with the song.
This could come full circle.
I'm concerned about his rhythm, but he went for it with the song, which I thought was great. You're right. But so here's your real redemption chance tomorrow. Are you feeling up for this?
We'll see.
That's not a confidence-inspiring answer.
It's hard to read these people's minds with how they're thinking and how they're like what the accent's supposed to be when they're tweeting these things.
You get to interpret it. You don't need to read their minds.
I don't care who these people really are. It comes to me and I just make something up.
This isn't like you're playing, Harvey Milk or like one of the. You're not going for an Oscar by accurately portraying the original famous character. You can make it up however you want. The world's your oyster, pal.
All right, then yeah, I'm ready.
Chance to use that creativity. All right. So anyway, download the app and then leave us a message for Here's the Thing, and we'll play it on Thursday at 8:00, which has been pretty fun. Okay, I want to start with. I have so much Mike Macdonald stuff today. I plan to get into Tyreek Hill and what happened a little later today. I think at 8:00. We'll dig into that with a little bit more depth. And also, I want to discuss Adam Jude's Edgar article, which is disturbing in a lot of ways, but I'm hoping maybe there's a way in which it makes sense. I'm not like confident in it, but I'm kind of hoping. So we'll do that a little bit later today. If you guys haven't read it, I recommend it. See if you can read the article from Adam Jude, SeattleTimes.com, on Edgar and his hitting approach as a hitting coach. And we'll discuss at 7:30 this morning.
I like that. You just kind of gave a homework assignment.
Yeah, well, I just want to, I want us to all be up to speed. You know how it is. I gave it to Passan yesterday also. It just sounded a lot
like when the teacher's like, you read this and we'll come back and discuss.
Yeah. Now the teachers, I can tell you, having gone to back to school night last week, they just say, oh, the homework's in Schoology. So you have to like go to a website and like click on your thing and sign in. Then you probably have to sign in again. Like all of the things we use, like Workday and everything else, are constantly kicking you out and making you sign in again and change your password and this, that, and the other. And then you can get your syllabus and your assignments and all that. Anyway, this is easier. I guess you need a subscription to SeattleTimes.com. But Go read the article because there's some interesting quotes in there from Edgar, and we'll talk through them at 7:30. All right, here's two thoughts. Two thoughts on Mike Macdonald from yesterday. And if you missed the interview, our first Mike Macdonald show, I'll play for you coming up here at 6:30. Number one thought from Mike Macdonald. What if his defense was operating at a severe disadvantage on Sunday? As I stated and wrote about yesterday, if you have a little time while reading the Adam Jude column, you can also read mine up at seattlesports.com or on the app. That was the best defensive performance I've seen from the Seahawks in years. I had somebody getting on me yesterday, like, oh, what about the Giants last year with all those sacks? The Giants' offensive line was so bad they couldn't operate, and the Seahawks got to the quarterback a bunch. But overall, through all three layers of the defense, I thought yesterday was superior. Personal feeling. Yeah, maybe I'm prisoner of the moment. So be it. As good as it was, were they operating at a distinct disadvantage? I'm talking to Macdonald yesterday. I think maybe they were. What do we know about his defense? We know that it's all about being molded and specified uniquely, tailor-made for each offense that they're going to play, right? That's sort of the calling card of it as opposed to what Pete did, which is here we are, just come and deal with it. Well, how do you go and plan for a quarterback that's never taken a snap in the NFL and a coach that's never worked with that quarterback, et cetera? Macdonald was saying yesterday, that's a challenge for him.
No, it's tricky, Brock, because, I mean, what tape are you going to watch? You know, you have Bo in college with probably, just kind of feeling what type of player he is. You got the preseason tape, and then you have Denver last year, and then you start to, you got a ton of time on your hands, and then you started going back to last time Sean Cobb plays in New Orleans, then they had played us, or we played New Orleans against Pete Carmichael in 22, and then we played against Sean in 18. So it's like, with enough time, you start going down these deep, dark, black holes of plays, and trying to get a feel for just how they're going to call it and stuff.
He didn't even know what to plan for. Could his defense be better next week when at least he's got some tape of Jacoby Brissett and what that offense looks like? The week after, when there's plenty of tape on what the Dolphins are going to look like with their starting quarterback, Tua, and their head coach and his offense, and Mike McDaniel. I'm excited for the Mike Macdonald, Mike McDaniel battle, just for the confusion of trying to make sure you get the names right each time. What if this is only the beginning for this defense? Oh, and by the way, it's just the first time he's worked with these players, and he and Dodson are just figuring out their communication, how that's going to work. Like, I think this might be a baseline for what he's capable of with his defense. That's not to say that they're always going to have dominant performances where essentially they only give up one touchdown and every other point is directly attributed to their offense. They'll give up more points. They'll run into offenses that are better. But I do wonder if this is the beginning, the baseline of what he's capable of with his defense. And if that's the case, we're going to be looking at something awesome. All I ever want is for my team to be great at something. Have an identity. Know who you are. And if that starts with having a dominant defense built from the back forward, okay, great. Let's go. Let's go punish everybody. Play games where other teams dread seeing you because they know your defense is going to beat them up and just physically dominate you. I'm in. I'm all in on that. And by the way, that's not the only thing I got from him yesterday. The other thing I did want to play from Mike Macdonald yesterday is how he is embracing one major part of the Seahawks past. Yeah, maybe he took down some of the pictures of guys and, this, that, and the other. Some people got upset. But he's sure embracing Marshawn Lynch, who was on the sideline, massaging him during the game. I don't care about that. I care about the quote that Macdonald says is now a part of their DNA.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome. I'm there, and then I was like, okay, hey, what's up? And then I'm thinking that was it. And all of a sudden, there he is again.
Did you even know him?
Well, so we've met a couple times, and then, I've just been personally, how are you not a huge fan of Marshawn Lynch? And, it's funny, we actually, we talk about team DNA and who we want to be, but there's a quote that he said out there that I can't repeat. I guess it's my radio show now. I shouldn't be using that language, but everyone else knows what I'm talking about. But that's part of our team DNA. He's right in the thick of it. So
he's right in the thick of their team DNA. You guys know what the quote is, and we can play it because we got an edited version.
It just clicked in my mind that if you just run through somebody's face A lot of people ain't going to be able to take that over and 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 over again. They just not going to want that. Think there's a deeper metaphor there? Run through a motherfucking face. Then you don't have to worry about them no more.
And you don't have to worry about him.
I mean, I love the Austin Powers continuation of how it just keeps going and going and going over and over and over. But yeah, if you're going to embrace something from this team's past, Marshawn's philosophy on running through someone, that's a pretty good thing to embrace. So if you want to combine, this defense might just be getting started after an incredible dominating performance on Sunday with they're accepting and including into their DNA one of our favorite all-time quotes from Marshawn Lynch. It's a pretty good start for Mike Macdonald. I don't know what else this guy could do in the first couple days of actually playing games to make me love him more. But wow, I'm pretty won
I'm
over
just
at the moment.
thinking back to how badly you wanted Harbaugh and how unsure you were about this. You guys have come a long way.
Well, I still wouldn't mind Harbaugh. I mean, he had a pretty good first game also, and I think the people in L.A. are pretty in love with Jim. So it's not like that one hasn't worked.
I'm just impressed with how far you've come with this.
I'm an open-minded guy, always. I mean, I am. Just because, it's not what...
Bo Nix.
Well, Bo Nix is bad. I saw that with my own eyes in college, and now I'm seeing it again with my own eyes.
Saying the opposite yesterday.
Bo Nix is awful. That guy's terrible. I don't want to hear it. Dave said he was great.
Not great, but that he had potential.
Oh, my gosh. No.
I'll back you up on this, Salk. There was a stat out there after the game on Sunday that said on Bo Nix throws that were 10 or more air yards, he was 2 for 12 for 40 yards and 2 picks.
He can't throw.
It's like I said all week, he's a check down merchant.
Right. He can't throw. He's not a good thrower of the football. Yeah, no thanks. He can run a little bit, which is fun. He could have some success running around.
I just love how confidently you say these things when you're like, I watched 2 college games and then 1 NFL game.
People watch too much tape. It ends up confusing them. You see too much. You start seeing ghosts. Just go on feel. This guy stinks. And just move on. It works so much better. Trust me. All right, coming up next, we'll give you guys everything you need to know, including, were you guys paying attention to the results in Major League Baseball last night? Because one was awfully important to the Mariner future. It's next on Brock and Salk.
This is Seattle Sports.
Throw downfield, wide open, touchdown, Seahawks, Zach Charbonnet.
Bo Nix throw picks.
Back in the middle, intercepted. And it's Rick Woolen who steps right in front of the receiver, Cortland Sutton.
Me, I'm just fast. I just chased it down, and the ball in there, I caught it, and that was it for real.
Throws to the corner of the end zone. It's going to be intercepted. Getting his feet down in bounds is Julian Love.
We are the home of the Seahawks.
Now that you survived the summer lawn season, how's your back feeling after mowing, mulching, and weeding? How about your pocketbook from watering, fertilizer, and gas? Say goodbye to grass with a perfectly manicured, hassle-free custom turf installation from Synthetic Turf Northwest. Synthetic Turf Northwest has a fall turf blitz savings up to $1,500 off a flawless installation. Synthetic Turf Northwest, 425-788-0718. SyntheticTurfNorthwest.com.
O'Brien Auto Group has some of the best new car brands in the Northwest. Those great new vehicles make the best pre-owned vehicles as well. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for the best factory certified vehicles. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for a large selection of the best pre-owned cars and trucks. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. Choose from hundreds of SUVs, trucks, hybrids, EVs, and more. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. One site is all you need. That's OBRIEN Autogroup.com.
O'Brien.
By the time this radio ad ends, another vehicle will be stolen somewhere in the United States. Help keep your car safe with these simple and important tips. Don't leave your car running unattended. Park in well-lit areas. Lock up every time. Keep valuables out of sight. Use an anti-theft device like a steering wheel lock. Share this information with friends and family. Prevent the theft and keep yourself and your vehicle safe. These tips are brought to you by the Washington Auto Theft Prevention Authority.
It's time to turn it up at T-Mobile Park. The next Mariners Fireworks Night, presented by T-Mobile, is this Friday. And it's going to be a dance party you won't want to miss. After the Mariners take on the Rangers at 7:10, stick around for an epic show curated by world-famous DJ Diplo. Get ready to drop to the beat as we light up the sky with a fireworks spectacular that'll have you on your feet.
Swing and a miss. A missile up above the zone. Ryan Woo's had it cooking tonight in Seattle.
So grab your crew and head to Mariners.com to lock in your tickets for the hottest party in town. Plus, check out all that's happening at T-Mobile Park during the final stretch of the regular season, including a Luis Castillo Funko Pop giveaway this Saturday and a marquee matchup against the Yankees Tuesday the 17th through Thursday the 19th.
That baby's way gone. Big Cal. Another 2-home run performance.
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The noon hour of the Bump and Stacy Show is powered every day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
Big Trees is Washington's premier tree sales and transplant company. With over 30 years of experience, Big Trees provides trees of all sizes for residential and commercial projects. Our 30-acre nursery features thousands of trees and hundreds of varieties that thrive in our Pacific Northwest climate. For hours, directions, and to see our wide selection of trees, visit BigTreeSupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
Fall is near and it's time to break the huddle by taking advantage of Toyota of Kirkland's lifetime powertrain warranty. With a roster of over 70 Tundras and Tacomas, come scout the phenomenal team at Toyota of Kirkland. They'll pass you the keys so you can test drive your vehicle and take it to the house that same day. Big-time players make big-time plays at Toyota of Kirkland. Visit them today at their incredible showroom or online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
O'Brien.
At the UPS Store, we understand the importance of a first impression. That's why we're here to help you put your best foot forward and be unstoppable with our printing services. With high-quality paper stock options, banners, business cards, menus, and more, we make sure your small business stands out and your message reaches the masses. After all, we're the one-stop prints that pop store. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today and get your print on.
Hello? Hey, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. Did you know we've got you fully covered?
I've taken up beekeeping. I'm always covered.
I'm talking the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage at up to half the cost.
Same honey, half the work?
Exactly.
Sweet.
Just call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
This hour is brought to you by the Harnish Auto Family.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
All right, we are fully into the NFL season. Every team has now played one game, and the Seahawks are one of the 16 that started the year with a win. How about that? Mike Macdonald joining us yesterday. And look, he is very much a coach, a coach's coach. And I love that as great as his team played, even defensively, that's not where his mind went immediately after the game.
Yeah, I just finished watching the tape like 3 minutes ago, so it's fresh, but haven't really digested everything yet. But I'd say overall, again, similar to like the first preseason game, it was incredible to get a win. I thought the guys played really, really hard. Just like we talked about yesterday, just to handle all the series of events at the beginning of the game was something else, something we didn't necessarily expect, but it happened, but we moved through it. But then watching the tape, man, there's also so much we can improve on. The guy, it's going to be glaring to the guys we can take a big step here. We got an opportunity here to take a big step going into the next game.
It's funny. That's not all that different from what we would hear from Pete Carroll. It's not. But it's said so differently that it comes across like a completely different message. I think the message is actually maybe a little bit more similar. But anyway, what else can I play you from him? Let's go into this one. Maura, you were railing yesterday about halftime adjustments and how happy you were about the halftime adjustments, that everyone said you couldn't make halftime adjustments. Coach is sort of in between on whether they were halftime adjustments.
Well, yeah, I think halftime adjustments in general are overrated. I mean, you should be adjusting as the game unfolds. So it just gives you a little bit more time to kind of take a deep breath and get settled and get everybody on the same page. I think is probably the biggest opportunity there.
Yeah, he can say that, but they also made some big adjustments at halftime.
It seems like semantics. Like, okay, so you started working on them before halftime, but you weren't really able to take that breath and gather and implement them until after.
Yeah,
I get what he's saying. You didn't wait till halftime to start.
It feels like that truth is somewhere in the middle. You can't just walk into the locker room at halftime in the 8 minutes you have, throw everything out, and then figure out what it is you want to do in the second half. But it does give you a moment as you're making your adjustments to say, all right, let's think about how we really want to approach this moving forward. So maybe this is a case where everybody can be right, which is fun. In any event, I really enjoyed that conversation. You guys are going to hear the whole thing coming up in about 10 minutes. An unbelievable debut. I saw a text here earlier. So what? I mean, he stopped giving this guy as much credit as you are. They beat a bad team with a rookie quarterback. Yeah, they did. I agree with that. But that's who was in front of him to play. His debut and his first couple days here as the head coach in season have gone as well as they could possibly go for me as a head coach. We'll see what happens when he takes on more adversity. But as of right now, I'm pretty impressed.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
The Mariners are 3 games out of the wild card. That's the current situation after the Twins lost last night to Anaheim. Mariners, Red Sox, Royals all tied 3 back of Minnesota. The Astros were also off, so nothing changes there in the division. That's the background. That sets the stage for a quick 2-gamer at home against San Diego. Awesome pitching matchup tonight. I'm going to the game, pretty psyched. George Kirby and Yu Darvish, 18 games left to play, 12 at home. And one of those is going to take place against Rangers prospect Kumar Rocker, who's going to make his major league debut. Big time prospect. You remember the whole thing with the Mets, and now he's with the Rangers, and should be pretty interesting to see him make his debut. He's been pretty good in the minor leagues. Mariners claimed lefty Austin Kitch off waivers from Miami. They designated Jason Vossler for assignment. Remember when Jason Vossler was a big part of this team? That was weird. It was like a month and a half ago. They were like, oh, yeah, no, Jason Vossler's just going to play first. Okay. Kitchen's 27 years old. Or Kitch. Is it Kitch or Kitchen?
It's Kitchen.
It's Kitchen? Oh, that's too bad.
I was looking at the press release.
Oh, I was hoping his name was Kitch. It's something you'd get.
Kitchen's not fun?
Kitchen's kind of fun. There used to be Brian Kinchin. He was like a tight end and long snapper for the Browns. In any event, he's only appeared in 4 games this year and made his major league debut this season against Tampa.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
It looked like Aaron Rodgers quit in San Francisco again. Didn't finish the game after his team was physically dominated, and he didn't play particularly well.
Play action from Rodgers again. Pressure off the edge, and the pass is broken up and now picked off. Intercepted by Flanagan Fowles.
Oh, that's a shame. Hate to see it for poor Aaron. He seems like such a great guy. That's a tough one. I know I'm supposed to be rooting for against the Niners. I know that that's a problem. But I can't root for Aaron Rodgers. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't root for Aaron Rodgers. I can't root for Deshaun Watson. There's just some people in the league I cannot bring myself to root for, and I just couldn't bring myself to root for Aaron Rodgers yesterday. Sorry, guys. Sorry. And he quit again in San Francisco, which is fun. That's everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Niners look really good, by the way, and we'll talk a little bit more about them later.
Unfortunately, without Christian McCaffrey, too.
I know, and there's some controversy in that, right? Because the backup says he was told on Friday.
Yeah, Jordan Mason.
Yeah.
And then I felt bad because he was having such a fun night, and then I think his press conference got a little weird because he realized he needed to be careful about what he said.
His coach was like, yeah, that's not what happened, so a little sketchiness this, but whatever. Who cares? Oh, so the gamblers didn't get like every bit of information. Like, I don't know. Doesn't bother me, but I understand why the league's got to be careful of that type of stuff.
Fantasy football world was just thrust into chaos last night when McCaffrey was a late scratch.
Oh, no, it's fantasy chaos. All right. Mike Macdonald in a bit of chaos early in that game as his offense completely let him down. How did he handle it? How did they move forward? Who did he point out as being incredibly important to this win? Stick around. You'll hear a full 25 minutes with the coach next.
This is Seattle Sports.
Gino steps up, has running room, Dan Stein, touchdown! Seahawks, Gino Smith, right up the gut.
And I think once we kind of got to slim down a little bit, we were able to run the ball and do exactly what we wanted.
Walker turns upfield, he dives in, touchdown! Seahawks, check in the dictionary under answer, and that's what the Seahawks offense just did.
We are the home of the Seahawks.
All right, I got two questions for you guys this time of year. One, does it get cold in your house at night, especially as the temperature drops? And two, are you a customer of Puget Sound Energy? Because if both those things are true, you're going to want to call Crawl Pros. Check this out. As you know, temperatures drop, and then, you can end up with a problem in your crawl space. Maybe it's rats or other rodents who are in there looking for a cozy place to make home, and then they destroy your insulation, which ends up raising your heating bills. It's a whole mess, right? Well, if you send Crawl Pros in there and they find a problem, they've partnered with Puget Sound Energy to provide special rebates on insulation work. So now if you're a PSC customer and your home was built before 1990, you may qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. How nice would that be? Take advantage of these enormous rebates today. Call Crawl Pros and learn what's going on behind that crawl space and attic hatch for free. And then learn what energy rebates you might be eligible for. Call Crawl Pros before the cold, wet weather sets in. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or go to crawlpros.com.
For tank and tankless hot water heaters, for clogged drains, for leaky faucets, for toilets that won't flush. Stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical is your trusted source to solve all your plumbing needs. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
Want to listen to Seattle Sports on your smart speaker?
Hey, smart speaker, play Seattle Sports.
This message is powered by the EQC Sportsbook at Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Hey, babe. Yeah, the bank password is Moneybags, but a $sign instead of the S.
Mr. Moneybags here is about to get his identity stolen.
Wait, what?
If he used 1Password, he can share logins, credit cards, and other important information with just his wife, not the whole store. Sir, your card's been declined.
Again?
Security is complicated. 1Password isn't. And right now, get a free 2-week trial at 1Password.com. That's 2 free weeks at 1Password.com.
At GNC, we know motivation can come from anywhere. You could be at the gym, totally focused on yourself and your own goals. You refuse to be gym-intimidated. Maybe you're on a weight loss journey, a new path to change your life. Nothing's gonna stop you. Or maybe you're putting in overtime on those booty goals. No shame in getting those gains round back. You could just be out to prove that when it comes to pickleball, you are a pickle baller. No matter what motivates you, we have the fuel to keep you going. Fuel your fitness at GNC.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a fan cave, complete with a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty interior paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when tinted to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Color Collection.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
You want to talk about this, Park? You really want to do this?
I do.
You really want to get into this?
Yeah, I got some questions.
All right. Well, I got answers.
The Brock and Salk Show is brought to you every day by Simply Seattle.
Roof now, pay later.
Hi, I'm Sam Thomason, owner of State Roofing. Take advantage of our 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to a year. We've partnered with leading lenders to make the replacement or repair of your roof affordable. Flexible financing options are available to take the worry out of an unexpected expense. Call us today at 866-ROOF-ROOF to schedule a free no-obligation estimate or visit us at stateroofing.com. That's stateroofing.com.
State Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
Hey, college students, want to save more on groceries? Every dollar counts, so my friends at Safeway are helping by giving all university, community, and technical college students an extra 5% savings every day. It's called Safeway for You. Sign up is free and easy. Safeway for You members get extra savings with perks, points, and free products. For all the details and terms, visit Safeway.com/FOR and the letter U. That's Safeway.com/for-you.
Rick Riz here with Luke Wilson, a local owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. With your help and the Improve Your Play program, Pella has chosen a local youth athletic program to receive a $5,000 grant. Luke, who's the lucky winner this week?
Rick, we could not be more excited to announce Pac West Little League as one of 2 winners of this $5,000 grant.
Thanks to Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington for helping our local youth thrive.
My Seahawks jersey is more than just a piece of clothing.
It's a symbol of the unique spirit of my city.
Creating a sense of community and belonging.
A bond uniting us and a love for the game.
This is my jersey.
This is my jersey.
This is my jersey.
This is the Pro Shop. You can find your new favorite jersey at the Seahawks Pro Shop. Shop online at Seahawks.com or visit us at the Landing in Renton or Lumen Field.
Rock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland.
All right, let's go now. Let's go.
The Mike Macdonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
It's a work in progress since the day you walk in the door.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino.
Yes, sir.
That's right. It is the first edition of the Mike Macdonald Show. Hopefully the first of many, many more of these. Coach, good morning. Congratulations.
Hey, guys. Thank you.
Sorry to be doing this on the phone. I guess we're having a little internet issue. So normally we'd be sitting there together and what did you call it? The little dungeon that we've got down there. So you get to avoid the dungeon, hopefully just in your office today. How
once I realized it was going to be in person, I turned the internet off. So
I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't blame you. Nobody needs to see me early on a Monday morning. What'd you think yesterday? How was it?
Yeah, I just finished watching the tape like 3 minutes ago, so it's fresh, but haven't really digested everything yet. But I'd say overall, like again, similar to like the first preseason game, it was incredible to get a win. I thought the guys played really, really hard. Just like we talked about yesterday, just to handle all the series of events at the beginning of the game was something else, something we didn't necessarily expect, but it happened, but we moved through it. And but then watching the tape, man, there's also so much we can improve on. The guy, it's going to be glaring to the guys, and we can take a big step here. We got an opportunity here to take a big step going into the next game.
Well, I think you kind of answered the question there, but I'm always curious. After the first game, first time as a head coach, leaving the building, so you didn't watch it last night. You were able to kind of get away and just enjoy the time with the wife and the baby on the way.
Yeah, we had a bunch of people in town, and so I elected not to see them on Friday and Saturday. So it's good to see everybody on Sunday. Yeah, it's tough. I like to let it digest before you come back and kind of watch it with a fresh brain on Monday mornings.
How long does it take to come down from the adrenaline of that day?
Yeah, it's funny. It takes a while. It's hard to fall asleep. But it was happy. These are the things you work for. If you can't take time to enjoy it and savor the moment and all the hard work, everything that everybody's put in, then you're not doing it right. You got to take some time to enjoy it, and then go back to work on Monday morning.
Well, and then you do, and you start looking through the film, and I'm assuming you're like most other coaches who the moment you start looking through the film, everything that seems so great the day before, all of a sudden you start picking apart all the flaws and all the little things that you could have done better. What jumped out?
Just in terms of improvement, Mike, just
sure.
like Yeah. Shoot. I mean, you could nobody played no one's ever going to play a perfect game, but how we play and those types of things, I think that stuck out. There's some areas on offense where we can finish plays better. It might be able to pop some more explosive runs, more explosive plays in the pass game. Defensively, I thought the guys played really, really hard. I thought we tackled well for the most part. That we missed some tackles, but it doesn't necessarily show up because there's another guy, to the party. So there's a lot of great examples of guys getting there, and then when guys aren't necessarily hauling butt to the ball, it starts to stick out like a sore thumb. So hopefully they realize what the standard looks like, and then we can fix the rest of those plays.
Did the game against a rookie quarterback kind of play out the way you thought it would? As you never know. It's his first snaps. Obviously, it's your first as a DC and head coach here as well. So it played kind of on both sides. But did Sean kind of call it the way you anticipated it?
It's tricky, Brock, because I mean, what tape are you going to watch? You got Bo in college with probably, just kind of feeling what type of player he is. You got the preseason tape, and then you have Denver last year, and then you start to, you got a ton of time on your hands, and then you started going back to last time Sean called plays in New Orleans, and then they had played us, or we played New Orleans against Pete Carmichael in 22, and then we played against Sean in 18. So it's like, with enough time, you start going down these deep, dark, these black holes of plays, and trying to get a feel for just how they're going to call it and stuff. And, so against that operation, it's tough to say, hey, look, let's just call our defense without trying to take advantage of tendencies or, how we think they're going to play certain personnels or whatever, how we want to match people and things like that. So, it's tough to feel like how much he's going to give a rookie quarterback on the road. But, we just whatever they throw at you, you got to be able to handle. So I think our guys did a great job preparing. That's another thing, talking about debriefing and after action, just our process throughout the week. I think the guys are realizing the importance of, keeping our foot on the gas every day and being consistent and making sure we make, every play matters in practice and stuff. And, we can't have repeats in critical situations and all that stuff. I think we're going to take a big jump moving forward.
Is that a Navy SEALs after action report that I heard there?
I say debrief, but I'm not necessarily quoting the SEALs. John Schneider and I met last week, just kind of talking about how we wanted to move forward. He used it, so I'm stealing his words.
No, Schneider's got to be the guy. Okay,
well, he's got to send a debrief to the owner. He lets us know about that.
He knows all about the after-action reports.
Right.
Coach, who should we be talking about on the defensive side of the ball? As great as they played, who really made that go yesterday?
I thought our DBs played really well. I think, Reek Woolen deserves. Reek Woolen deserves a lot of credit the way he played. The ball didn't come to him much, but he was on his details. I thought his technique was really good, and he finally caught the one that came to him, which was a hell of a play. And then Julian Love, I thought, played a great game. Brayshawn Jenkins, I felt, you just felt him throughout. He tackled really well. Trey Brown made a huge play on that slant to Cortland Sutton on 3rd and 5. Which was a point of emphasis all week. So, I think those guys really, really played a great game.
And then, the guy that was everywhere.
I'm sorry. In Kayvon Wallace with the 4. I can't. I have to obviously mention that was a big time play.
I got to ask you about your linebackers though, because they're the two guys that we, at home barely got a chance to see. They didn't play much in preseason. They didn't play much in camp. They didn't play much in the off season, and we had never seen them before. And all of a sudden, Dawson was everywhere.
Yeah, C-Dot's done a great job. It's not, again, when you're playing at home with our noise, there's a lot of times I'm giving him the call. He's looking at me like he can't hear me. And I'm like, we're trying to mouth it to him, so that was pretty crazy. So to be able to kind of translate, the chaos and get that to the guys with all the calls. And we had a couple things we got to fix, but for the most part, that's a big time job. And then when they're moving fast, trying to get it to all 3 levels, it's an underrated burden to have to carry each game. And so to be able to handle that and then play at the level he did, I thought that was really cool. So he did a great job.
And part of the reason that Russell Wilson would name every player on his team when asked a question about anybody is because you can think and look at that and go, well, hold on a second. What about Spoon? But, we sat with you like a month ago, and we had some fun about Spoon and Spoon back and forth with you and him and expectations, and he was everywhere. Now, I think he would have loved to have finished a sack and maybe a pick and everything else. But talk to me about Spoon's game yesterday, because I thought, man, he always plays accelerated,
yeah.
fully, engaged.
I definitely should have, Brock, I should have mentioned him in the DB thing. I mean, I thought he played really well. Again, moving inside and out. And I wish he would have finished the 2 sacks. That he had an opportunity to get to the QB. I know he's going to want those back. But look, he's one of our best blitzers. He'll be on the move. You have to account for him in the blitz game. And
why is he so good at that, Mike? Why? What makes him? Because there's a lot of nickel blitz. There's a lot of 4 to a side. But over the last year and a half, as we've gotten to watch him, he just gets there so fast. What makes him elite in that way?
Yeah, well, so understand, blitz timing is critical, right? Like, you want to be on time to. It's just a function of time and space. And then even if they do have him accounted for, he's slippery. He's got a way to work angles, work half a man. He's got a couple moves up his sleeve that just has a good feel for how to take on the blocker in relation to where the quarterback is. But yeah, you felt him throughout the game. He's so active. I know if you ask him right now, he's probably disappointed because of the plays he didn't make, but there's a lot of good stuff on tape.
I assume that there'll be some making fun of him for going for the pump fake 10 yards downfield on the touchdown that Nick scored.
He's in a tough spot there because he's in man, and so you can't leave your guy in man coverage. And I thought, I thought it was kind of a clever play, try to bait him into maybe throwing it,
right,
and make a play. So I thought he kind of improv there, but I thought that was a pretty heady play by him.
I wanted to ask you about, and we watched Derek Hall a lot last year, and sort of waited for the light bulb to come on kind of moment, just given his size and speed and strength and everything else, and it just didn't seem to translate necessarily last year. When you came in, saw him, saw his game, saw the measurables, what did you think of Derek Hall, and how have you sort of mapped out his path and some of the improvement we saw yesterday?
Well, first of all, Derek deserves a lot of credit for the amount of work that he's put in. These guys work tremendous. He's been here every day since just about every workout. Just goes 100 miles an hour. Guy works his tail off. Hines and CP and AD. Those are the guys that are working with him every day. So, they deserve a ton of credit too. But, Derek's, we all watched Derek coming out. The only play that I think of is, the play at the Senior Bowl where he sat down that base block. And then when you're just oh shoot, this guy is strong as a bull. And then he plays with power. He plays very hard. He plays relentlessly. Sometimes you got to actually kind of slow him down because his engine runs hot, But I think it's just there's no secret formula. It's just, hey, let's go to work and then keep coaching him up and keep developing. And in the rush game, hey, don't try to be somebody you're not. Hey, you're a speed to power guy, with a couple speed move change-ups, and let's roll. And then in the run game, I think you saw it again last night. He's so heavy-handed and throws his body around, and he plays the right way on the edge.
Coach, was there anything new on the headsets yesterday going from preseason games to your very first regular season game?
There's some situations where I can be better. Going from, hey, my mind's fully on defense, and then switching into being a head coach as soon as we get the stop. So, I'll be better in those specific cadences. But for the most part, we made a couple tweaks on who's on what line. And I thought our communication was actually smoother between all 3 phases and Brian. So overall, we did a good job. We're going to get a debrief here later on, and did not use the word again, debrief. But we're going to go through all the situations and decisions we made, and find ways where we can improve on how we operated.
You know, it was interesting. I was down over the weekend in Salt Lake, and Dave Aranda, and I think Clark Lee and Vanderbilt are the only guys in all of college football as D coordinators and head coaches.
Yeah.
And I talked to Dave, and he was exhausted. I mean, the day before, like he was so spent, and he's like, shouldn't really do it, but I have to. You know, like they went 3-9 and won one game at home, and like I've got to do all this, and I'm, you know, it's 20 hours a day, and he wasn't making excuses. He's just like, you know, it's really hard. And then even in the game, we were showing him, and he's over there with the D line and the front seven and the linebackers as the offense is going. So how do you manage that? It's different at the pro game than the college game, very different, resource-wise, play-wise, tempo-wise, everything. But how do you feel like you can manage that as D coordinator and head coach?
Well, first, I love Dave's quote about the fighter pilot and the jet.
Yes.
I thought that was great.
Yes.
I can't say I feel too differently, frankly. He's always got an awesome way to describe stuff. I think he's
awesome.
Yeah, he's a heck of a football coach. I know that. He's someone that we've been in contact with over the years. And Clark Lee, I met with him while we were in Vandy too, when we were down there practicing. That was the first time I talked to Clark, and just respect the heck out of him too. But to answer your question, Brock, I mean, yeah, it's a challenge. I mean, there's a lot of things that go on throughout the week, and you know, it's kind of on paper that like the process that I like to go through takes a long time and goes all the way up to game day. But look, I mean, that's what we signed up for. That's the game, you know, that's the life in the NFL, and I think the lesson learned is like how efficient can we be on the front end with our processes here, and you know, to kind of expedite that all the backup info that drives some of those decisions earlier in the week, so you can kind of get to the end of the week to figure out what you're going to do, how you script, all the details, all the opponent research. I think going through last week's for the first time for real for everybody involved should really, I hope to see some things fall more into place throughout the week. And I think we can hit some of those markers at more like standardized times, if that makes sense. So, you know, we're not always up against the game, but yeah, it's going to be a week-long process every game, and that's okay. And then, you know, throughout the game, I think, again, I have to stay present. Like, especially when we're on defense, I got to put the defensive coordinator hat on, and then when we get into certain situations, you're kind of wearing both. And then once we're off, you know, our defensive staff does a great job of making adjustments and talking to the guys and getting things fixed, and then I can kind of hop back and forth. But then, you know, you're back to managing the game when we're on special teams and offense. So it's going to be you're juggling some things, you know, at once. But I think we can pull it off.
It's a good thing you're young and sprung.
I know.
It's a good thing you're so young.
You use that word process and then sort of the game management decisions. Can you take us through some of the process on the final offensive drive? You're going to end up with a third down. You end up with 2 third downs because of the penalty, but the decision to run or pass, how does that decision get made? What was the thinking behind deciding to throw?
Yeah, we kind of code out we call them our 4-minute third downs. So based off the risk that we want to take and how we want to handle the clock. And, you know, just with where Denver was with timeouts, it just felt like we needed to be aggressive in that situation. And ultimately, all these decisions are my decisions. So just get that to Grubb. You know, I think I got it to him after the first down call, and then, you know, he calls the rest of the drive accordingly. So I thought he made a great call, and I just finished watching the play. I mean, it's just a tremendous play. I mean, like you watch it, the coach's copy. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I mean, that window was so small, and then the play that Tyler made, just be able to make that, it's just incredible. I mean, it was incredible.
How do you judge the risk reward? Because if Tyler doesn't make a one-handed catch, now you're punting them the ball back. They've got that timeout and even more time to go. What goes into the decision making there? Well,
yeah, it's a sliding scale, but like, you know, you did like quick, you know, back of the napkin math. You're looking at like, I think if I remember right, if we didn't complete that pass, you know, you're looking at like 140 with a timeout. I mean, they're in 4-down situation anyways. That's plenty of time to go down the field. So we're going to have a 4-down situation on defense regardless. You know, if we ran it and they used the timeout, you're still looking at like maybe 140, but no timeouts. I mean, that's still a lot of time, you know, to go down the field. And so, we're like, shoot, I mean, it's basically the dang same situation. Let's go try to put it away right now.
Pretty awesome. Yeah. A lot's been made, and I think players were asked about it, Mike, after the game. We've talked about it this morning. Can you take us behind the scenes a little bit on your first regular season halftime and how much really goes into quote-unquote halftime adjustments?
Well, yeah, I think halftime adjustments in general are overrated. I mean, you should be adjusting as the game unfolds. So it just gives you a little bit more time to kind of take a deep breath and get settled and get everybody on the same page, I think is probably the biggest opportunity there. Like I said yesterday after the game, I mean, I'm going back to with the defense. The offensive staff deserves a lot of credit. We knew we wanted to put an emphasis on the run game, but to change up some of the formations and without getting into all like the strategy involved, but I thought they deserve a lot of credit to be able to say, hey, maybe we got to go here within the game plan, adjust some of these things and how we're building some of this stuff. And then, the players deserve a lot of credit too. I mean, everyone's kind of we're aligned in that moment where, we were poised, we were ready to go, kind of attack the second half. We knew what we needed to do. And I thought when you watch the tape, our execution, rose to the level too. So, the guys, the coaches did a good job of adjusting and stuff, but the players are the ones going to make it happen, and I thought they did an awesome job with that.
Do we have updates this morning on either George Fant or Kenneth Walker?
No, I have no updates yet. Normally, it'll take some time to get us all the news on injury stuff.
Not yet, Salt. The power of the internet's down there, for crying out loud. He had to
Can't even look at the imaging.
He had to watch a game tape on his phone. Okay, right. He's trying to figure things out as much as he can.
You ever been harassed by an ex-player in the middle of a game while you're trying to call a game?
I like how you held that, Mike. Just like throw that up there.
Yeah. We got 5 minutes left. Let's just throw. Is Marshawn just America's guest? He just kind of goes wherever he wants to go whenever he wants to?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome. What a
life.
I'm there, and then I was like, okay, like, hey, what's up? And then I'm thinking, that was it. And all of a sudden, there he is again.
Did you even know him?
So we've met a couple times, and then, I've just been like, personally, how are you not a huge fan of Marshawn Lynch? And, it's funny. We can talk about like team DNA and who we want to be, but there's a quote that he said out there that I can't repeat. I guess it's my radio show now. I shouldn't be using that language, but everyone else knows what I'm talking about. But that's part of our team DNA. He's right in the thick of it. So, it was awesome to have him around. He's, like you said, he's America's guest, but he's also the Seahawks guest. We'd love to have him whenever he wants to be here.
Hey, just along those lines, as we wrap up here, and thank you for doing this, the first of many Mike Macdonald shows over the course of the year, as you just kind of look at the big picture of what your team did in all three phases of that film you digested this morning, between, and I think you said to Salk, like, well, you can ask the players. I'm not going to tell you what our identity is or everything behind the walls. You can ask our players. Eventually it will come out. What did that 60 minutes of tape in all three phases speak to your team week number one?
Yeah, I think process-wise, we're on the right track. But it's, I guess I keep going back to like what it felt like after the first preseason game. It feels like a good foundational start. It's awesome to get the win, but you can't. There's a lot of things in that first half that you can't be messing with, if you want to win consistently. So.
Like fumble punts and back-to-back safeties and sacks, stuff like that? Okay.
In certain situation stuff, but I want our mentality to be like, hey, like, let's just, whatever happened, good or bad, let's face it head on. There's no ego involved. There's no, it's just like, hey, what's best for the team? How do we kind of push this thing forward? Coaches included, all the decisions we're making. Like, that's the spirit we want to have when, after games, so we can continue to get better. So we're playing our best football at the end of the season. So the guys will have that mentality, and that'll be the message. And it's super positive, obviously, but there's so much room for growth. And I want to make sure we take advantage of this opportunity we have.
Thank you so much, man. Congrats to the family.
No Gatorade bath awesome. Yesterday, huh?
Oh, hey, one win, man. That would have been way too premature. Maybe we can get that done in February.
Okay, yeah, so that you really freeze to death out there. Coach, thank you. Congratulations. Good luck in New England next week, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All
Appreciate
right,
your
there
time.
you go. That was the first ever Mike Macdonald show. How about that? I thought it was really good, too. Super interesting, informative. I think we learned a lot about him, and looking forward to doing that after each game. 9:30 the next day, usually on Mondays. And if you miss it, yes, a little replay on Tuesday, or you can find it at seattlesports.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Up next, what did we learn from the coach? Brock will be in. We'll run through it. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Let's talk about the plays of the game from the Seahawks' Week 1 win versus the Denver Broncos.
Gino steps up, has running room, 10, 5, touchdown! Seahawks!
I mean, this is Gino just taking what the defense is giving him. But what I appreciated about this, Gino looks quick. He even put a move on the safety. It made him stutter a little bit, and then he gets into the end zone. So Geno Smith showing like, look, man, I may be in my 30s, but them legs are still in the 20s.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Tired of ads interrupting your favorite news podcasts? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Stay up to date on everything newsworthy with podcasts like The Daily, Up First, and 5 Things Uninterrupted at Amazon.com/ad-free. Just head to Amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, Buc-ee's has you covered with no credit financing. For oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. It's Buc-ee's Complete Auto. No appointment needed and financing's available. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
Did you know about the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program? You can get an $80 benefit card to spend at local farmers markets. Use it to buy seasonal fruits, vegetables, and honey. Just bring your new SFMNP card with you when you shop. When you make a purchase, the grower will scan your card. Then you'll confirm the purchase with your PIN.
You're all set. Enjoy those tomatoes.
Thank you, I will. Find participating markets, local contacts, and more info at seniorfmnp.com. That's seniorfmnp.com.
At the UPS Store, we understand the importance of a first impression. That's why we're here to help you put your best foot forward and be unstoppable with our printing services. With high-quality paper stock options, banners, business cards, menus, and more, we make sure your small business stands out and your message reaches the masses. After all, we're the one-stop Prints That Pop store. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today and get your print on.
Hello?
Hey, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. Did you know we've got you fully covered?
I've taken up beekeeping. I'm always covered.
I'm talking the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage at up to half the cost.
Same honey, half the work?
Exactly.
Sweet.
Just call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Would you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible, it's happening. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 9/22/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eagle bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
You know, there's still time to get your roof done this summer with Riverside Roofing's Quick Quote at riversideroofingllc.com. Enter the details of your project, and you're only 60 seconds away from starting on a new roof. At Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
Are you ready to build your company's dream team? Just like in sports, finding skilled players is essential for success. With Robert Half's winning combination of specialized recruiting professionals and award-winning AI, we'll help you find the MVPs and key role players who will have you hanging banners in the rafters. Because in business, it's all about having the experienced team on your side. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a pepper thing.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get his freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Presented by Simply Seattle.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Yeah, rolling along with the Brock and Salk show here on Seattle Sports with a lot going on today. Some baseball talk coming up in a half hour. Great piece from Adam Jude on Edgar Martinez and how he is viewing the Mariners and their
how he's viewing or how he's leading. How he's leading them back to the mountaintop. How he's leading them out of the offensive abyss that they were in.
We're going to discuss coming up in 30 minutes. That should be an interesting one.
I just want to let you all know.
Jeff Passan will join us at 8:30.
I'm in one of those heaters today.
Adam Jude will join us to talk more about that tomorrow at 9:30.
I'm on a heater today.
Yeah? What'd you think of Macdonald yesterday?
Oh, he was fantastic. He was very analytical. You said it in your email last night. Dude just loves football. I mean, he loves it. And honestly, the term, I don't even know why this term stuck in my head, but sometimes these terms get there. And then this big 5-head of mine, this big old noggin of mine, it remains. When John Schneider in the press conference, when they hired him, talked about a disruptor. You know, and it's not, I don't think that John is some MBA in business terms, but, you know, went through the whole process of the interview with some really astute people. And it became very clear that this guy is going to be able to disrupt the system. Is just a defensive guy and a defensive mind and a really bright dude and one that understands process and communication and knows himself. And yeah, I just, that term continues to come to mind. And as I watched the Niners last night, look unbelievable. I kept thinking, man, I am really glad that we at least now have a shot with a defensive coordinator that is capable of disrupting what they want to do. And certainly disrupted Denver. Salk, you should hear the poor folks out here in Denver.
What is the conversation there?
Oh, Salk, it is tough.
Is it?
Oh, is it tough?
I mean, do they recognize now that whatever hype they had that this Christian Ponder Redux was going to be a franchise quarterback, is that out the window?
Do you know that Bo Nix attempted 42 passes for 138 yards?
It's like the worst ever, right?
Yeah, it's like top 10 for fewest yards per
attempt.
Yes, and I want to say like the modern era, the fewest yards per attempt in the whole modern era. So they're unglued.
Well, and I don't blame them. They should be. Again, they drafted Christian Ponder in the first round and then got mad, started him week 1, and don't understand why he's not Drew Brees. Like, well, I could come up with a few different reasons.
Yeah.
At 6 o'clock, Brock, I had a cut from Mike Macdonald, and there's really two here that kind of explain it. What if that's the worst his defense is ever going to be? I know that sounds sort of crazy, and I have sort of two reasons for thinking it. There's a flip side to it, and certainly the argument against it would be, Mike, they just played a bad team with a rookie quarterback who might stink. That's all true. Yes, I understand all that.
You were getting heat yesterday, too, by the way.
For what?
Your comment about the greatest defensive effort I've watched in 10 years. Do you not remember the Giants game last year, the pick six?
Yeah.
Holding with 3 points?
Yep.
Do you not remember that game on Monday Night Football?
Yeah. This was better across all 3 levels of the defense. This was a complete domination of Denver. Also, you have to do it against an NFL team. The Giants don't count. You got to do it against the actual NFL teams, not the New York Giants.
Okay, so play it for me. What you got?
Well, so this sort of jumped out to me yesterday. I'm all in at the moment, by the way, on Mike Macdonald. I really enjoyed his first game, really enjoyed the way he handled all of it, and the defense really does have me pretty excited, and I did write about it last night at seattlesports.com. Nice. I used AI for the first time ever to help me with a column.
You can't do that.
I can. I can use it, yes.
Is there a difference between AI and Chat GPT or whatever?
Chat GPT is AI, and I used it yesterday to help me with my column. Wow. I didn't have it write for me. I had it look up some stuff for me because I didn't feel like looking up all of those awful quarterbacks that had good games against the Seahawks.
Oh, you need to teach Brock how to use that because that's just how he uses us.
Right. So, Brock, all I did is I went to Chat GPT.
That is not nice, Maura. You apologize.
I went to Chat GPT and I said, how many yards did Colt McCoy throw for against the Seahawks?
Yeah.
And it gave me all of the Colt McCoy games against the Seahawks. It was great. So he threw for 328 yards against the Seahawks in 2021.
I don't believe that.
How about Mason Rudolph? Do you remember the number? Last year, 274. Wow. Sam Howell, last year.
300.
312.
Gosh, who needs Chat GPT when you got this brain?
Matt Schaub,
480.
460.
Who needs Chat GPT? You got my brain!
In 2019.
I'd rather just ask other people. Isn't this how Terminator starts when you use ChatGPT?
I hate the idea that it exists, but as long as it's here, I'm going to use it to look stuff up.
What does GPT stand for, Lyle?
Do you even know what the Terminator is? That's incredible. Have you seen any of the Terminators?
Not like full movies,
okay,
but...
Right, let's not get carried away. Yeah. There is no future but that which we make for ourselves. Yeah. Okay.
You guys made me watch Rocky 4. You should give Lyle the Terminator homework assignment.
Literally, you should watch, especially Terminator 2. Okay. Terminator 1's great, but it's super dated. Terminator 2 is a pretty great movie.
Okay, so continue on. Go ahead.
He didn't have his normal advantage in this game, Brock. Normally, he's going to have film to watch because isn't this defense adaptive? This defense adapts to whoever he's playing. Basically, the first thing he told us is he didn't know how to prepare for this particular quarterback because there's no film on him.
So against that operation, it's tough to say, hey, look, let's just call our defense without trying to take advantage of tendencies or, how we think they're going to play certain personnels or whatever, how we want to match people and things like that. So, yeah, it's tough to feel like how much he's going to give a rookie quarterback on the road. But, we just whatever they throw at you, you got to be able to handle. So I think our guys did a great job preparing.
He also went through hey, what film do you watch? Do you watch his college? Do you watch old Saints film?
Right. Do you watch Sean Payton attacking me? Do you watch our OC when we went against each other? Yeah. I mean, it was.
Is this the worst he's ever going to look? No. Obviously, there are going to be games where they give up more than 7 points, but. It feels like his particular defense was operating with a hand tied behind its back.
Yeah.
And maybe that at least balances out the effect of having a god-awful
I
rookie
hope we
quarterback.
hear from Spoon every week, by the way, because I think Spoon is like the other end of the pendulum of Mike Macdonald, yet they're kind of the same hyper-competitive person, right? So Mike Macdonald knows how to maybe couch some things or what he's going to say and when he's going to say it. And I don't think Spoon's going to have that filter. And I don't know how much he's going to get run out there. But to your point, remember, it was Devin Witherspoon after the game that's like, yeah, man, we were vanilla. Like, we didn't even show anything that we're really doing. And that's part of it, Mike, because you don't know exactly what you're going to get from the other side. And so you are going to play just your stuff. So even that plan and that matchup, yeah, I think that there is some merit to what you're talking about. This is just the foundation. This is just the base level. This was just, hey, we have to react to everything. We're not taking apart tendencies and formations and protections and a quarterback's weaknesses. The old Bill Belichick, how do you make him play left-handed when you don't even know what hand he has, if you were going to kind of use that analogy? So from that perspective, it'd be pretty cool. I got a cool text from Heaps yesterday, and I think I can share this. He's like, man, watch that Seahawks tape. That defense is nasty.
How did he tweet? How did he text? Just out of curiosity.
That was just my own.
Okay, I was curious how he put that into text form.
Just a Put that in chat GPT.
P's and
drink
F's
it.
and U's. Like, what goes into that?
Yes. But, you said to me yesterday, and you gave me a really nice compliment about, the defense, and the best part about this is going to be actually the evolution of a defense. And Jake has been saying the same thing, and a lot of guys have. And to actually finally see them just in attack mode and just be the aggressor and just show different looks and just confuse and complicate and just totally stimmy that offense.
So you think modern is good, huh? It's good to go modern. It's good to really embrace all of the advantages that modernity can provide you? Because it feels like that's what you're saying. I'm a little curious. What that's going to look like in 20 minutes.
Just asked me any question you wanted, and I had answers right in this big skull of mine.
That's going to lead to a fun conversation at 7:30.
Sure is.
That's for sure. If you missed any of the Mike Macdonald interview, please go find it at seattlesports.com.
Stimmy or stymie? Stimmy or stymie?
And I did stymie. And I did write that they have that was the best defensive performance I've seen. I have some proof and evidence and stuff, and I wrote about it last night. I didn't credit you in that one though, bro.
Don't need to.
Like, I did it once on the air. I didn't feel like I needed to do it again. That felt like overkill. You guys can read it. In the meantime, we'll give you everything you need to know, including some great news for the Mariners last night. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
The Mike Macdonald Show, the first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
How do you feel like you can manage that as D coordinator and head coach?
I have to stay present, especially when we're on defense. I got to put the defensive coordinator hat on, and then when we get to certain situations, you're kind of wearing both. Our defensive staff does a great job of making adjustments and talking to the guys and getting things fixed, and then I can kind of hop back and forth, but then, you're back to managing the game. If you're juggling, I think we can pull it off.
Don't miss the Mike Macdonald Show the morning after the Hawks game at 9:30 on Seattle Sports.
Are you interested in investing in real estate in the greater Seattle market, but don't want to manage properties, develop real estate, or sign on debt? Hi, it's Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital, based in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 15 years. We've had 0 investor losses and have averaged double-digit returns since inception. Find out why over 800 local investors have invested over $200 million in our Legacy family of funds. Legacy Northwest Fund returned over 12% in both 2007 and 2008. Are you looking at diversification opportunities, especially with what's happening in the market this year? Get in touch with us today. Legacy's family of funds has a limited opening for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or legacygg.com. That's legacygg.com. This is not investment advice. Investment performance based on average return of LFO1, LFO2, and LSF from 2007 through the date of calculation and after deduction of fees and expenses. Legacy family of funds investments are available to accredited investors only.
Hey everyone, Tom Nelson for Cressy Door. Since 1952, we've been installing garage doors for your home, building, or dealership. If you need Cressy Door service or a whole new set of doors, visit our friends at Cressy Door. Make your next garage door a Cressy Door.
I don't want to dig up my yard if I don't have to. That's why I hired O'Neill Plumbing. They're Seattle's trenchless plumbing pros. All rooter, all trenchless, always professional. O'Neill Plumbing since 1917.
If you haven't heard yet, Toyota's Camry called an audible with the brand new hybrid 2025 Camry. And at Toyota of Kirkland, they're excited to put it in play. Backed by the lifetime powertrain warranty, the incredible team at Toyota of Kirkland will set up your test drive so you can take home that 2025 hybrid Camry the same day. Come check it out at the amazing showroom at Toyota of Kirkland or visit online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
You're free now. Free to fill your feed with impossibly chonky chonkers who chonk harder than you ever thought possible.
Cats, corgis, babies, baby penguins, baby pandas, chunky baby pandas.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things. Free to open a world of remote work and a portal into Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine, and then some. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service in select locations only.
It's Wrangler season out there. T-shirt days, denim jacket nights. A pair of broken-in jeans you could live in. Open roads, endless horizons, no destinations. This is when adventure starts calling. And you need to be ready in jeans that are made for the unpredictable journey that we call life. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go, so I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partner with Beacon. With the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like CertainTeed Landmark Pro, right at my fingertips. It's like having my Beacon rep in my pocket 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through November, purchase CertainTeed through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $750. Beacon, always building.
The Mike Macdonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino.
At Mazda of Everett, you can always expect to receive exceptional customer service and exceptional deals. Mazda of Everett is a great friend of Seattle sports, and you'll be satisfied with both. Shop from over 600 new Mazdas in stock. And right now, they're offering 0% financing on all new Mazda CX-5s, CX-30s, CX-50s, and CX-90s on approved credit. Need more reasons? It feels like working with family when you work with Mazda of Everett. You will drive away happy. See for yourself at MazdaofEverett.com.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, don't neglect maintenance on your vehicle. Keep it safe. At Bucky's Complete Auto, we have you covered with no credit financing. For over 50 years, Bucky's has been servicing and repairing cars and trucks with modern-day technology and good old-fashioned customer service. There's a Bucky's just about everywhere for oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Bucky's.com for the location near you.
At Shane Company, we'll help you design an engagement ring as unique as your love story. We have the widest selection of diamonds and gemstones for you to choose from, and you can compare them side by side right here in our store. Only at Shane Company can you sift through exquisite diamonds, rubies, and a rainbow of sapphires in a variety of shapes and sizes. We'll help you create your dream engagement ring no matter your price range. Choose the ring setting that speaks to your style, from classic to modern to vintage. We offer so many ways to personalize your ring. Pick your favorite center stone, add a decorative crown and a custom engraving, or select a perfectly preset ring that's ready to go. At Shane Company, our jewelers know how much your ring means to you. They hand-set each center stone with precision and pride in our jeweler's workshop, so you can feel confident knowing your ring is crafted with the greatest care and comes with an unmatched free lifetime warranty that lets you know we'll always be here for you. Your love story deserves to shine bright. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, the entirety of NFL Week 1 is in the books now, and the Seahawks, Brock, are one of the 16 that are 1-0, which is great. Mike Macdonald joining us yesterday, and everybody keeps calling him smart. Everyone keeps saying he's smart. He clearly is. I wonder if some of that comes from just using good common sense. We asked him about the risks and rewards of the final play call to Tyler Lockett, and his explanation was just so logical.
Oh, yeah, it's a sliding scale, but you did that quick, back of the napkin math. You're looking at I think if I remember right, if we didn't complete that pass, you're looking at 140 with a timeout. I mean, they're in a 4-down situation anyways. That's plenty of time to go down the field. So we're going to have a 4-down situation on defense regardless. If we ran it and they used the timeout, you're still looking into maybe 140, but no timeouts. I mean, that's still a lot of time, to go down the field. And so we're like, shoot, I mean, it's basically the dang same situation. Let's go try to put it away right now.
Logical, and he said shoot and dang back to back.
So good.
That's after your heart.
Just right up my alley. There were a couple S words in the locker room, but no F-bombs. I love that as well. Just again, right up my alley. We don't need to just drop F-bombs to drop F-bombs. To act like we're in the NFL to relate and make it cool. He also went on further, Salk, and said, yeah, it was green zone, right? It was all that stuff is coded. Are we green? Are we yellow? Are we red? We simplify it. Guys understand it. We have practiced and prepared for all of this. So, hey, man, we're in green mode, which is go for it mode. In from a valuation standpoint, which is what he was talking about there, didn't that make total sense to you?
It did.
That's the right decision. I'll say this. You may not like this, Salk, but I've had a lot of baseball conversation with Jason Benetti out there in Detroit. And by the way, the Tigers and the Mariners, the exact same record, both 3 games out. It is. And to listen to him talk about A.J. Hinch, former Stanford guy, and everything else. I know he was in Houston, and they did. He's like, bro, just the way that he does exactly that, the way that he simplifies his strategy. And yet, man, it makes so much sense. And what they have done after selling at the deadline to come all the way back and to mix pitchers and have double openers and to do all this stuff, to them it's pretty simple. And I think you heard that very clearly from Mike Macdonald.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Well, speaking of those Tigers and Mariners, they are both, as you said, tied in the wild card, and they're both 3 games out after Minnesota actually lost yesterday to Anaheim, which was great. So Mariners were off, Astros were off, and still you pick up half a game in the wild card. So 3 games in the wild card? I mean,
with
again,
18 to go.
18 to go. You gotta pick up a game every 6 days? That's not impossible.
Now, the
I know there's other
challenge
teams.
Boston's got the same record as you do. Detroit's got the same record. So it's a 3-way fiasco.
Yep.
All chasing those Twins with 3 games back.
And you're chasing Houston at the same time.
Yep.
They were idle last night. But 2-gamer at home against San Diego. Really good pitching matchup tonight. Kirby and Yu Darvish. I'm going to be there. Looking forward to watching that in person. As you said, 18 left to play, 12 at home. And just looking at the Texas series. So Kumar Rocker's going to make his major league debut. And Lyle was just telling me the other 2 starts. Do you know who's starting the other 2 games for Texas?
No.
Oh, DeGrom coming back for the first time this year.
Great.
And Max Scherzer. Yeah,
Okay.
Max Scherzer.
Okay.
So it's going to be Scherzer, DeGrom, and their top prospect, Kumar Rocker.
Get your sabermetrics ready.
It's a good thing the Mariners claimed lefty Austin Kitchen, though, off waivers from Miami. They designated Jason Vossler for assignment to make room.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Play action from Rodgers again. Pressure off the edge, and the pass is broken up and now picked off. Intercepted by Flanagan Fowles.
Hey, Brock.
Yeah.
Did Aaron Rodgers quit in San Francisco again? I know he did it once in the NFC Championship game a few years ago when he Cam Newtoned it by refusing to dive after a football that he had fumbled right in front of him. And he's like, this game's over. I'm not going to do that. But did he quit last night? Came out early, was ignoring and tuning out his friend and lackey Nathaniel Hackett on the sideline.
Yeah.
Did he quit last night?
He's a lot. A-Rod's a lot. There's a lot to deal with.
He quit. Just go to your darkness retreat, dude, and go away. I know I'm not supposed to be rooting for the Niners. I can't root for Aaron Rodgers. It's never, ever going to happen. I'm sorry. And the Niners dominated. They win 32-19.
Fair to say that of all 16 games in the NFL, Niners look the most complete?
Oh, I'd say that's pretty fair.
Sheepers, creepers.
Then, Detroit looked pretty good.
Yes. Yeah, and I think a very similar thing with the 2 of them, right? Like, we'll just run it right down your face and right down your throat, and you're going to do nothing about it. And we're going to do it with a backup here 28 times, unapologetically, and you're just not going to be able to stop us. Yeah, I think a very similar vibe and vein there with the 2 teams top the NFC, at least by all the prognostications, that being Detroit and San
Christian
Francisco.
McCaffrey last night, a late scratch, a little
And then all the
controversy.
play action off of it.
Jordan Mason said he was told Friday he was going to be starting, and that was well before the McCaffrey announcement. Brian Shanahan says that's not how it happened. In any event, Seahawks and Niners tied for the division lead at 1-0. That's everything you need to know.
More likely to watch. You, Maura, Lyle, me, more likely to watch the Vince McMahon docuseries coming out on Netflix in a couple weeks, or the Aaron Rodgers Enigma docuseries coming out.
Well, the Aaron Rodgers one's a 0. That's a 0 for me.
That's a 0.
I mean, Salk just doesn't watch documentaries
Right,
at
also,
all.
I'm out on documentaries.
Oh, you don't like documentaries?
No.
I kind of hate myself for it, but I'm probably going to want to see what the Aaron Rodgers one
Lyle,
is
you can turn the
about.
music down now, buddy. Yeah, there we go.
All right, easy.
What?
Nothing.
What? I saw you give him.
You don't need to do that. You don't have to air family business. I'm helping the poor kid out.
We have our first show meeting. He didn't even
I know. He didn't even prepare.
No.
I know.
He doesn't even know what's coming.
Sad. It's just sad. Sad what's happening to Lyle in the other room.
You guys are going to drive Lyle out of here.
It's mostly Brock. I'm being nice. Brock is taking it to a whole
Well,
new
to be
level.
fair, I did have a welfare check on Lyle yesterday. I had to. TJ reached out to me, Mathewson, his buddy over there at the Marine Layer. I may or may not be jumping on his radio program in Corvallis. And I said, TJ, you got to be honest. Like, I speak for Mike here as well. We're a we in this thing. So is it too much? Like, is Lyle crying? Is he quit? Like, is he curled up in a fetal
like
position?
Aaron Rodgers. Is he getting ready to quit?
Yes. And he said, no, it's actually, I think, been okay.
It's been good for him, maybe.
It's been
So
good.
you decided to just keep rolling with it?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, if TJ would have said, hey, now listen, you got to understand who you're dealing with. He's a kangaroo after all. Might have been a state champion, but he's still a kangaroo.
Right.
And you got to be a little bit more sensitive to him than I think I would have been.
Doesn't sound that way.
But no, TJ's like, no, just keep it rolling.
Well, he's got a big day tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be Mean Tweets number 2. So his real big opportunity to redeem himself, which I think he can do. I have a lot of confidence in Lyle. He didn't seem to have a lot in himself when I asked him about it earlier, but I've got a lot of confidence that Lyle is going to come through big in Mean Tweets tomorrow.
You missed. I heard a little pep talk Maura was giving.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
She was like, oh, this will be great. There's a couple tandem ones here. Like she's so nice.
I know.
She's
very
trying
supportive.
to build him back up after
Someone
we just
has
tore
to
him
be
down.
nice to him on this show.
And if he does redeem himself, then I would assume that the voice messages that get left for Here's the Thing will be much kinder when those come in. And remember, you got to do them by tomorrow in order for Maura to put it together for Thursday morning at 8 o'clock. So that's what to come later this week. Lyle, you ready? Are you starting to get yourself pumped? You got the howdy to pump you up. Maura pumped you up. Are you feeling ready for tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm more and more ready after all the pep talk. Also, I'm just laughing at this text we just got. Brock Shador Sanders Hewer just checked his teammate under the bus on live.
Oh, wow. Wow. All right. Well, Hall of Fame text right there. And we're going to be discussing some comments made by a Hall of Famer next on Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Thank God for this defense. Defense kept you in the game until you started to figure some things out.
People keep saying the defense was really good, but they still gave up 20 to a rookie quarterback. Hang on just a minute. They gave up a pair of field goals in the first half. The offense gave up 4 points. They didn't allow Bo Nix to get into the end zone until late in this game. The defense was incredibly effective, particularly in the third quarter, but yes, in the first half. I think in the third quarter, the Broncos had 19 net yards.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Are you guys looking for a fun night out? Only 30 minutes from downtown. You know Snoqualmie Casino's the place to go for so many reasons. Great place to watch sports and everything that comes with it. Enjoy a great happy hour menu. Yeah, the food choices right now are awesome. Falls Buffet, serving up your favorites. The prime rib every day. The fresh pasta. The made-to-order stir-fry and noodles, pizza, salad bar, dessert bar. They make the pies every day. And Vista, they got amazing happy hour menus that start at 4 o'clock with those awesome views and the great steak. You know it's Seattle's closest casino, only 30 minutes from downtown at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest, Snoqualmie Casino.
Under these arches, opposing teams are put to the test. Can they hear themselves over the boom of the 12s? Can they withstand the Seattle elements? Can they compete against us? Touchdown, Seahawks! This city lives for Sunday. Get your tickets for Seahawks game days at Lumen Field and experience what this city lives for. Visit Seahawks.com today.
Key here is employee satisfaction. There is no expectation for customer satisfaction if the people that work with us don't feel taken care of and supported and loved. I'm proud of this Lee Johnson Auto family. I'm proud of our stores. And I need everybody to share in that mindset because it makes a better experience for the customer. It also makes it a better place to work. Walking away from an interaction with a customer that says, I can't believe how easy this was. I can't thank you enough for helping me. Receiving a handwritten letter that's personalized to a salesperson or service advisor or a technician expressing gratitude, and then taking that home and sharing that with your family and hanging that on your refrigerator, that's the difference.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high load conditions versus API SP test limits. As a roofer, I don't have time to fail. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. And with the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. Now through September 15th, purchase high-quality GAF with Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
Stacey Rost here. It's time to recognize a woman in our sports community with the 2024 Women of Inspiration Award. The nominations are in, and the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events, needs your help selecting a winner. Voting is open now until September 20th at woiseattle.org. The winner will receive a generous cash donation from WISE and their partners for the cause of their choice. Help honor a local woman today. Vote by September 20th at woiseattle.org.
Hawks live.
Thursday nights from 7 to 9.
Live from Bellevue Square Center Court.
Geno Smith has himself a day.
Presented by the Dining District of the Bellevue Collection.
On Seattle Sports.
Hey, college students, want to save more on groceries? Every dollar counts, so my friends at Safeway are helping by giving all university, community, and technical college students an extra 5% savings every day. It's called Safeway for You. Sign up is free and easy. Safeway for You members get extra savings with perks, points, and free products. For all the details and terms, visit Safeway.com/FOR and the letter U. That's Safeway.com/for-you.
For over 111 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington. From the Space Needle in Seattle and now all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist you with any lighting issue, as well as help with intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting expert since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Rick Riz here with Keith Dashafee, a local owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. With your help and the Improve Your Play program, Pella has chosen a local youth athletic program to receive a $5,000 grant. Keith, who's the lucky winner this week?
Rick, we could not be more excited to announce Lockburn Middle School Sports as one of 2 winners of this $5,000 grant.
Thanks to Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington for helping our local youth thrive.
Bring your whole crew to the game with the Mariners Suite at T-Mobile Park. Whether you're planning a special birthday party for friends and family or a company outing for up to 400 coworkers, there's no better spot for an unforgettable experience. Enjoy the suite life with premium catering, VIP parking, private Skybridge entry, and more. Plus, season ticket members get 15% off. Reserve your suite today at mariners.com/suites.
And the pitch up the middle, JP! Wow! What a play! Game over!
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Yeah, Brock and Salk. And Brock, I don't know if you had an opportunity. I know you did. If everyone else had the opportunity to read the piece on Edgar by Adam Jude yesterday. And Adam's going to join us tomorrow at 9:30. We're going to.
Do we not have any bumper music coming back to that? I was just kind of curious.
Oh, wow.
Dude. When did you turn into Stelton?
I think it just
what happened?
Died. I don't know.
What do you mean it just died?
I'm telling you, I tried to play it.
Lyle.
Didn't play.
Okay, well, now he's blaming the equipment.
Lyle, look, man. We're going to have to have an intervention here.
Oh, no.
How old are you?
26.
Yeah. I'm going to teach you something right now, and this will be the end of it. We won't speak of this ever again. More will tell you. I am not a person who ever cares if something goes wrong in the other room. I understand that it happens all the time. Like, it's a really hard job that I couldn't do. More, have I ever gotten mad about a technical issue or anything back there? No. I just don't. I don't care. I know it's hard. And so, all right, sometimes the show doesn't sound perfect. So be it. It's radio. It's live. That's what happens. Just take responsibility, man. That's twice. You sleep late, don't blame a headache. Okay? Like, I don't care if you sleep late. It's hard to wake up at this time of day. Don't tell me you have a headache. Either come in or don't.
Well, Brock asked what happened.
Just keep your mouth shut.
Okay.
Chill. Don't tell me you got a headache. Either come in or don't. If you're sick, you're sick. Don't come in.
I feel like you guys keep flipping who's doing bad cop.
Well, I'm trying to be nice and support him, but he's making it impossible. God. Lyle. Just say, hey, sorry, man.
Yeah.
It didn't fire. Like, I screwed
it
up.
Didn't fire. I mean,
it's
it didn't
okay.
Fire. It didn't fire.
It's okay. No one's
And then-
mad. Don't
So
make
Salk
excuses.
doesn't get mad, Lyle, and I instigate. So that's what you're dealing with. It's not Bob staring bullets at you.
Right.
I mean, Bob would throw you. You want to talk about Shador, He worse than Shedeur, you.
Tell Brock to shut up and do this job himself. He doesn't know how to use that board.
No.
But don't give me any excuses. I don't want to hear excuses. What does Mike Heward say about excuses?
Excuses are for losers.
That's exactly what Coach Heward says about excuses. I don't want to hear that. So feel free to just be like, yeah, sorry, man. And move on. You don't have to listen and take Brock's grief.
No.
But I don't want the excuses. Can we agree on that?
Son, I've always told you.
That's right.
That excuses are for losers.
Right. I don't want to have to hear that echoing in everyone's brain for a while. You got it? We're good? Okay.
You know the beauty of that? That wasn't even Chat GPT either right there.
that was real.
That was no AI.
that was really real.
Great Mike Heward right there.
206 wondering if Wyman taught Lyle how to use electronics. All right, that's not right. Come on now. That's an unnecessary
we all had the opportunity to read the great Adam Jude. And he's going to join us what time?
Tomorrow at 9:30.
Nice.
And by the way, I've mentioned this before. Adam's done a heck of a job on that beat since taking over and helping Ryan and working together on it. Let me read you these two quotes from Edgar Martinez. I will admit, when I first read this piece yesterday, I was horrified. I really was. I think that maybe I've put it into some level of context that might help, but it's pretty horrified. And I'll ask Passan about it at 8:30, but I'll give you a hint. When I texted Jeff about it yesterday, he seemed pretty horrified. Here, I'm reading from the column in the Seattle Times. For one of the most accomplished hitters in Seattle Mariners history, though, the new age analytics are about as useful as Sanskrit. Quote, I don't care if you have an exit velocity of 120 miles an hour, Edgar said flatly, standing just outside the batting cage before a weekend game here at Busch Stadium. If you have the wrong swing, you're still going to hit for a low average.
Amen. Cosign Brock Heward. Totally agree. I don't care, Bryson DeChambeau, if you hit a golf ball 195 miles an hour. A, it's not sustainable, and B, you've got to put it in play. I don't care that you got great exit velo. I don't care that perfect game measures you and you've got, oh, look at your exit velo, and oh my gosh, you're just extraordinary. Oh, you can hit the ball so hard. Yeah, do you have feel? Do you have instinct? Can you process? Can you hit the ball and shape the ball the other way?
So you don't care at all about the clear relationship between hard hit balls and hits?
Because it's paid great dividends the last 3 years in your projections here.
Here, no. Elsewhere,
because it's paid great dividends.
But you think this is the only place where they're looking at hard hit balls? What are you talking about?
Do you not think that there are enormous misses in every organization because they're captivated by hard hit rate? This isn't like black and white. There is a gray nuance to this, and obviously I'm making it black and white.
Brock, coming from a guy who thinks that swing speed actually matters when that clearly does not. But exit velo definitely matters. There's a clear relationship between how hard you hit the ball and how many hits you get. Like that's just math.
There is a clear relationship between being a good hitter and being able to, I think, have balance and do everything within it and not be a one-trick pony chasing exit velo. And I think there are
I'm going to come back to that part of it.
Numerous prospects all over the place.
Whether you're chasing it or not
that have
is an interesting
fallen off the
conversation.
train because, you know what, I got to get exit velo. I got to get exit velo. Just like I got to get velo. And then all of a sudden I'm going to blow every tendon in my elbow and every tendon in my shoulder.
You can say that, but look at all the pitchers who chased velo. How's it working for them?
For some, it works great.
Overall, it's working great. Yes, I mean, there are guys that are churning and not making it, but overall, the obsession with velo has worked out great for Major League pitching. It's the best pitching's ever been since they had to lower the mound. So, I don't know, it seems to be working pretty darn well. This is the other cut from, the other quote from Edgar. I mean, for me, batting average, runs scored, RBIs on base percentage, those are the ones I use. The game today is so mechanical, you know. There's so much emphasis on mechanics that sometimes the hitters are thinking too much about mechanics when they should be focusing on the plan, on approach, and just to square the ball up, not where my hands are up and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So these are real hard quotes for me to read. Not the mechanics part, that's fine. Right. These are really hard quotes for me to read. Yep. This is taking baseball back like to the Stone Age, right? It's ignoring all of the stuff that Moneyball was just scratching the surface of, and everything that's happened in the 25, almost 30 years since Moneyball, 20 years plus since Moneyball came out. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's taking the world so far backwards that is fairly horrifying to me. But here's the thing. Edgar's not being asked to select players. If you're looking to select players on your team and want to do it without the benefit of looking at how hard they hit the ball, you cannot be in player selection in Major League Baseball. You're willfully ignoring data that is incredibly helpful in determining what kind of players you want. But guess what? Edgar doesn't do that. He's not in charge of interpreting data. He doesn't need to understand data, I don't think. He's being asked to help players hit. And whatever it takes to make them comfortable, to make them confident, then I guess that's what you've got to do. Now, if you have players that are the types that don't want more information, which is rare in the modern game, and Jeff will come on and tell you that at 8:30, that the modern player is pretty interested in understanding and trying to get better at doing the things that will make them succeed. And if you don't have a hitting coach that can help them with that, I don't know how that succeeds long term with those types of guys. But if you are where you are right now, and Edgar's not signing on to do this long term, he said he was going to do it till the end of the year. Well, anything you can do right now to help these specific guys get out of their own head and finish out this year, I think is probably worth doing.
Yeah, my mind races.
I don't understand why this needs to go back 20 years and try to fight against, numbers. I just don't get it. That's bizarre to me.
I think there's a couple things here. And honestly, my mind, we could do an hour just on this. Like, my mind is raced like 100 different ways through all of this, because I've had a chance to teach and coach. And it is a great life lesson. In fact, Mike Holmgren, when he and Matt Hasselbeck were fighting like brothers back in the day after they got traded and it just wasn't working, I think Mike even said to Matt, go coach. And Matt, like, one summer went and coached. He's like, whoa, this is a lot harder than I thought. Like, now I'm kind of seeing it from the other perspective, and like, whoa, this is not an easy gig, trying to get these young men in these high school. And now Matt's doing a phenomenal job of coaching at the high school level. We probably should have a wellness check on him and his brother Tim, by the way, and see if they fought again. But when you have in Salk, you've had a swing coach in golf, right? I mean, there are parallels to this with
shout
a lot
out to
of
my
different
guy
people.
Jim.
There you go. I know my buddy Tom out there at Redmond Ridge is a swing coach and all of it. And I think the second one, especially, Edgar saying, some of these guys are so caught up in just the mechanics of it, in my stance and my load, and I got to do this, and I got to have my hands there, and it gets in the way.
Yeah, and I'm with him on that, by the way. I thought that stuff
so
was
I don't
great.
know how you could have any issue with that one at all.
I have no issues at all.
So you know what?
None.
Yeah, I'd sure like to have Rory McIlroy's golf swing. That's never going to happen.
Right.
Okay, just anatomically or physiologically, it's just not going to happen.
That's not.
Okay.
It's the assault on understanding why things work and the assault on and the desire to go back to numbers that just have been outdated.
Well, I think this goes back again to how about you massage this a little bit, just like these managers, between feel and numbers. Right, the great debate that we get in a lot of these series and a lot of these games and everything else. And I think what Edgar is saying, I'll speak for him, and it's just like, hey, man, there are absolute numbers. And sure, exit velo does matter. And if I went back, and I'm speaking as Edgar here, and looked at my numbers and looked at King Griffey Jr.'s numbers, guess what? We had the best exit velo on the team. Right? I mean, we hit the ball harder and better than anybody else. But I wasn't chasing that.
That's exactly, and I agree with it. That's if people bothered to listen to the entirety of what I just said, rather than just getting mad at the beginning and thinking that I'm attacking their favorite player of all time, you would understand that I agree with you. The idea of Edgar Martinez, he didn't need to look at exit velocity.
Right.
He doesn't need to get his guys to chase exit velocity. If talking about antiquated statistics helps guys hit better, great. As long as Jerry Dipoto, Justin Hollander, and the rest of the group that are making decisions on how to judge players aren't judging them without the benefit of understanding actually how things are working, Edgar can teach whatever he wants. That's fine. As long as it works for the guys he's teaching.
Hard pause right there.
That's great.
Hard pause right there. Because I don't think I'm alone with I don't know, 100,000 Mariner fans going, well, hold on just a second. What has been the judgment? What have been the projection tools? Because over the last 3 or 4 years,
but if you're going to say Jerry doesn't get it right because he looks at analytics,
absolutely not.
And Tampa gets it wrong, and LA gets it wrong.
I'm absolutely
and all
not
the teams
saying
that everybody is out there lusting after do all the same thing. They're doing it better. They're doing a better job with analytics.
Correct.
Don't tell me that it's because analytics is screwing you up. That's absurd. Yeah.
But there has to be some question, as you wrote about, like whatever measurements you are using, whatever projection tools you are using in that
Change
evaluation.
But don't tell tell me the answer is I'm going to throw out all the stuff that we know. Get out of here.
No, and there's so many people that get mad when you bring up the term analytics. I'm going to try to redeem myself here, by the way.
Oh, boy.
There's so many people that get mad when you bring up the term analytics. Analytics is the biggest crutch word in all of sports. That's what people use when they don't understand it, and they like to use it in a negative connotation. It's one thing if you say, WAR's a flawed stat, here's why. WRC plus is a flawed stat, here's why. But there are people that'll say, oh, analytics is bad, and I hate the modern game, because they don't understand it. And that's their crutch word to make it seem like it's ruining the game, or
I think
that's
you're
why
right
the teams
about
aren't
that.
doing well.
I do think that there are parts of analytical style of baseball that has been hard to watch baseball. It has absolutely made the game less interesting to watch on a day-to-day basis, but to ignore it would be to step back and not give your team the best chance to win. And by the way, analytics these days, it's changed so much in the last 20 years. It started with just looking at on-base percentage instead of batting average, and then it went from there, and then it was wins above replace. Or first it was value over replacement player, VORP, and then VORP became WAR, right? And then
so here's one last little nugget.
Ultimately, Brock, to ignore that stuff is absurd. However, it's perhaps most telling that by not focusing on those things, Edgar and the Mariners may be achieving those things. Their WRC plus is 4th in baseball since he took over. Is that the stat?
Yeah.
Edgar may not know what WRC plus is, and I don't think it matters whether he knows what WRC plus is. I don't think he needs to insult it, but he doesn't need to know it, nor does he need to teach a player how to have a good WRC plus. If he teaches him just to be a good hitter, the WRC plus, the exit velocity, all the things that the backwards community of people that don't understand it get mad about will be taken care of. You don't need to prep for those things.
It's not backwards.
You need to judge those things. It's backwards.
No, it ain't backwards.
Yeah, it is.
I'll give you one last example. It's with Daniel Jeremiah. Again, this relates. You could say, oh, this doesn't relate. This is apples and oranges. It relates. It's Daniel Jeremiah saying, what's happened here in Seattle and the Raven Way is we don't just use length, speed, vert, power. Same thing happens at the combine. Same thing happens in all these sports. Same thing happens in all these projections. Same thing happens in recruiting of high school kids.
Sure.
Well, this guy's, his arms are too short. Well, he doesn't have the exit power that we want. He doesn't have the explosion in his hips. He doesn't have these things. But you know what this guy can do? Freaking play. He's a great freaking player.
Absolutely. No one's saying that goes away because of analytics.
I am saying there have been so many players, so many good players, great players that maybe never got their opportunities because they didn't hit the ball hard enough in single A or double A, because they didn't run fast enough in their first base speed, because they didn't do some of those things. That the very thing that Moneyball was to find new little ways, right, for the chubby first baseman.
Specifically says, look at how successful guys have been. Moneyball allows Chad Bradford to become a legitimate and at times dominant reliever because even though he was ugly, you looked at the numbers and he got guys out. Analytics is not saying, hey, this guy doesn't run fast enough, so he can't be on the team. That's some ridiculous cockamamie NFL GM garbage. This is totally different. This is looking at how guys are successful and trying to look under the hood to understand why it works. And players don't need to know that to be good at it. But if you're not looking at that stuff to determine who's a good player, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Jared Kelnick was the 8th pick coming out of high school because he had exit velo through the roof.
Right, and Brian Wu was a 5th-round pick because nobody else recognized it, and it's worked out for the Mariners because he did have that.
Because he had a unique arm angle, and they didn't look at the ERA.
They looked at the velocity. They looked under the hood at the deeper metrics on him and found that he was going to be a really good player.
Yep, and hopefully he can stay healthy, and hopefully he can continue in that career. But it's on both sides of it. To say it's just backwards, it's backwards community.
To ignore it is backwards.
To ignore it?
To ignore and insult it is backwards.
Yeah, yes. To ignore it and insult it, okay, it's backwards.
Yes.
To think that this is the only way or the best way is elite.
No one's saying that. No one is saying this is the only way. They're saying you have to include it in your thinking. And to not include it is backwards. Theo Epstein's the greatest of all time at doing this, right? Do we agree, Theo, with what he did in Boston and Chicago? Yep. And what is Theo's the entire basis of what makes Theo great is combining analytics with scouting. Yep. That's the Theo method. No one is saying scouting needs to go away or it's unimportant or it needs to be put to bed. But to look at this and say, wow, as soon as you stop looking at analytics, you're going to succeed?
Are you scouting?
Get out of here.
What are you scouting? What are you scouting today? You are scouting velo. You're scouting exit velo. What is the main parameters? If you don't throw 90 as a right-handed pitcher in high school, sorry, you ain't getting a scholarship. Sorry, it ain't happening. You ain't going to the SEC or the ACC.
No.
Like that's. But what about all those amazing kids that are throwing 85 that have great feel and have 4 pitches and have command and are ultimately going to be great players? I don't know, George Kirby, who has to go to Elon and make his way finally through.
Wasn't great until he started throwing 97.
George Kirby wasn't great till he started throwing 97. George Kirby was pretty damn good to be a first-round pick at Elon because he didn't walk anybody and had unbelievable command.
And then when he started throwing 97, he got great.
Let's get to Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
Blue 88!
That felt good.
Blue 88!
We take you to the field as Brock Heward breaks down 3 football questions as only he can.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
We're going to have to do this quick.
You know what it all comes down to, Salk? Balance. It's balance, and nobody wants balance.
Right.
I want to be on one side of it or the other.
That's legitimately what I was just saying.
I know.
You need balance.
Yep.
All right, I got to compose myself. Do a little Blue 88. We're going to have to make some halftime adjustments for this show. Our halftime adjustments
you can
a
call
thing.
them out. Tell them to get it together.
Maura's been saying halftime adjustments are legit. What did Mike Macdonald say yesterday? Are they?
Yeah, he kind of poo-pooed that one. He thought that's kind of a poo-poo take.
Here he is.
Well, yeah, I think halftime adjustments in general are overrated. I mean, you should be adjusting as the game unfolds. So it just gives you a little bit more time to kind of take a deep breath and get settled and get everybody on the same page. I think is probably the biggest opportunity there.
I told you something before. The greatest, quick analogy and story I ever heard from a D coordinator. And this was at the collegiate levels. There's 3 different offensive coordinators. There's the guy that doesn't figure out what I'm doing until the next day watching tape. There's the guy that figures it out at halftime with him and his cronies up there. And then there's the ones and the really good ones that figure it out series to series. And that's what Mike Macdonald's saying. If we got to wait till halftime to make our adjustments, we're done. We're not going to be a winning team. We've got to make the adjustments in real time. Series by series. What are they doing? How are they attacking? How is our plan? How is everything that we've put together through the week to take apart their plan and their protections? Yeah, you got to be on it from the very, very jump, series to series. But he did go on further to say, Maura, you are right. There are things at halftime that you do get a chance. You do get 10 minutes. You do get orange slices. You do get to go to the bathroom. And you do get to gather everybody to say, here's our plays coming out. Just like we script in the openers, the first 15, the good ones, they come out with 10 more plays. They define those clearly for their team, so they have that plan to get it going in the second half as well.
You actually get orange slices?
You do, yeah.
Still?
Yeah, bananas,
they
orange
still
slices.
Get orange slices?
Absolutely.
Is that true?
Well, 20 years ago we did.
I wonder if
in
they
Indy,
still do.
It was great.
I know that, I don't know.
Halftime soccer games?
I wonder if they still get that. Ask somebody. Question number 2. You and PFF on the same page, Brock?
We are.
Pro Football Focus?
We are. I told you yesterday, Charles Cross had an absolute monstrous game, and it wasn't just burying Cody Barton, although that was pretty good, like The Undertaker. I mean, he just put him in the ground on that touchdown run. Just, as I was watching that over and over, like, man, he's creating movement. He is just protecting well. So he had like a PFF grade I've never seen before in the mid-90s for a Seahawks offensive lineman. It was extraordinary. And so was the combo of Spoon and Woolen, by the way. A PFF grade between those two over 90. So even though Woolen didn't get his sacks, even though he had a ball, a chance for a ball or two, as Mike Macdonald said, the guy was everywhere. So, hey, man, this conversation of good to great, we've got our list. K9 was on that list, too. He had a great game, but Charles Cross, Woolen, Spoon, you want to become difference makers. You want to compete with that behemoth down in the Bay that put on a show last night. You got to go from good to great. And one game in, Cross, Woolen, and Spoon in particular were great.
All right, question number 3. Jetfish. Big, I don't know if it's an Apple Cup or not, whatever they're calling this weekend. By the way, I heard about why the attendance is going to be awful.
What? What did you hear?
The prices are insane.
Yeah. Yes.
I was asking Kyle about it. He was saying that his season tickets, he used to pay $30 for his old seats. Now he pays $50 a game for his new seats.
Uh-huh.
Cheapest seats to get into the Apple Cup at Lumen are like $200.
Yeah, no,
That's absurd.
That's just not going to work.
That just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, as Jed Fish is preparing, how's he doing? Is he putting his money where his mouth is?
He is, man. This became pretty public yesterday, and I don't know if he said it explicitly, but it certainly came out of the press conference that he's donated $1 million. He talked about NIL. He talked about free agency. He talked about the locker room that they're working on. He talked about the $20 million project that they're doing. And he talked about, needing to raise $300 million in the next few years to do all that they really need to do to compete at the highest level. And if there's 300 other folks like him out there willing to donate $1 million, as he and his wife have, to that project, they can go get that done and compete with the biggest power brokers in college football.
Are you one of those people?
$1 million?
$1 million? Is that the level you play at?
Yeah, probably not.
Me neither.
Yeah, probably not.
That's everything you need to know.
I mean, if the sand mine hits,
I'm sorry,
maybe.
that's Blue 88. My bad. If what hits? The
The
sand mine.
Yeah,
if the mine works.
Yeah, if the mine works. And so far, so good. This
Good.
little project up in Wyoming.
Well, that's
not
exciting.
bad. Not bad.
That's what I'd
So
like to
we'll
hear.
see. Uh-huh.
All right. Things got a little heated. We're gonna back it off and talk about a nice, calm,
Balance.
easy subject.
about balance?
Like what happened with Tyreek Hill on Sunday. It's next on Brock and Salk.
This is Seattle Sports.
Throw downfield, wide open, touchdown! Seahawks, Zach Charbonnet.
Bo Nix throw picks.
Back in the middle, intercepted. And it's Reed Woolen who steps right in front of the receiver, Cortland Sutton.
Me, I'm just fast. I just chased it down and the ball was in there. I caught it, and that was it for real.
Throws to the corner of the end zone. It's going to be intercepted. Getting his feet down in bounds is Julian Love.
We are the home of the Seahawks.
For over 111 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington. From the Space Needle in Seattle and now all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist you with any lighting issue, as well as help with intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting expert since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
You're free now. Free to fill your feed with impossibly chonky chonkers who chonk harder than you ever thought possible.
Cats, corgis, babies, baby penguins, baby pandas, chunky baby pandas.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things. Free to open a world of remote work and a portal into Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine, and then some. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service in select locations only.
All right, Seattle fans, the gloves are off. TechLine has the strongest warranty in the business. Give TechLine a call and we'll come out for a free inspection. Take advantage of our easy financing and our summer special. Trust TechLine.
Did you know about the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program? You can get an $80 benefit card to spend at local farmers markets. Use it to buy seasonal fruits, vegetables, and honey. Just bring your new SFMNP card with you when you shop. When you make a purchase, the grower will scan your card. Then you'll confirm the purchase with your PIN.
You're all set. Enjoy those tomatoes.
Thank you, I will. Find participating markets, local contacts, and more info at seniorfmnp.com. That's seniorfmnp.com.
Now that you survived the summer lawn season, how's your back feeling after mowing, mulching, and weeding? How about your pocketbook from watering, fertilizer, and gas? Say goodbye to grass with a perfectly manicured, hassle-free custom turf installation from Synthetic Turf Northwest. Synthetic Turf Northwest has a fall turf blitz savings up to $1,500 off a flawless installation. Synthetic Turf Northwest, 425-788-0718. SyntheticTurfNorthwest.com.
The seasons are changing, and if you're thinking it's time to change what you drive, the incredible team at Toyota of Kirkland will get you charged up with the BZ4X. Toyota's all-electric crossover SUV features an estimated range up to 252 miles, getting you where you need to go. Test drive the BZ4X at the electrifying showroom at Toyota of Kirkland and take it home the same day. Visit in person today at Toyota of Kirkland or online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
Buy a heat pump, get a furnace free. Now from Deere Services. You heard right. Buy a new heat pump, get a new furnace free from Deere Services. Save now and combine the year-round benefits and comforts of both systems, giving you warm winters and cool summers. Make an appointment at DEARservices.net and we'll be there within 3 hours guaranteed. And get this, no service fees. Buy a new heat pump, get a new furnace free now at Deere Services. Seattle Seahawks, small business partners.
By the time this radio ad ends, another vehicle will be stolen somewhere in the United States. Help keep your car safe with these simple and important tips. Don't leave your car running unattended. Park in well-lit areas. Lock up every time. Keep valuables out of sight. Use an anti-theft device like a steering wheel lock. Share this information with friends and family. Prevent the theft and keep yourself and your vehicle safe. These tips are brought to you by the Washington Auto Theft Prevention Authority.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go. So I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partnered with Beacon. With their unique Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through September 15th, purchase GAF through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence dyne test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
Miss anything from the Brock and Salk Show? Remember, you can always catch the show on demand on SeattleSports.com, the Seattle Sports app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. This message brought to you by Ascend Hospitality Group, Famous Dave's, Ascend Prime, and Stanford's.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get in the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
Styled by Simply Seattle.
And Brooke Eward. And Brooke Eward.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Eward and Mike Salk.
All right, we don't have enough time in the next 10 minutes to truly get to the heart of everything that happened yesterday, or I guess Sunday, with Tyreek Hill, but let's see if we can run through it quickly here and present kind of a multifaceted conversation on it, because this is not as simple as some people, I think, would want you to believe. I watched the video a few times. I listened to his lawyer interviewed on CNN yesterday with Moore's doppelganger, Caitlin Collins. Right? Isn't that what Clayton always used to say?
John Clayton and his wife Pat used to always tell me I look just like her.
Exactly. She does a nice job, and she did a nice job with the interview yesterday. I read the statement from Miami-Dade Police and from the Dolphins, and I kind of have maybe 7 or 8 things that I think about here, Brock, and maybe we can try to run through some of this as a background to what happened with Tyreek Hill. First and foremost, and Gigi was just in here, and he's absolutely right, 2 things can be true at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
If Tyreek Hill had handled that situation differently, I don't think any of it would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
If Tyreek Hill had been more polite, if he had lowered his window and kept it down, especially a tinted window where the cops can't see exactly what's going on in there, those guys have a tough job. They don't know who they're pulling over. It's entirely possible that the person they're pulling over is a dangerous criminal and has guns or whatever. It's a scary situation that they're in, and I have some level of sympathy or empathy or whatever it is for them in that moment. Stay off your phone. Lower the window and keep the window down. Be polite. These are things that everybody should universally know, understand, and do when getting pulled over by an officer. And I'm going to guess that those are things that have specifically been told to every member of the NFL community by the folks either at the NFLPA or with the league who talk them through all of these types of situations. That sound accurate?
100%. I would throw in the context that you're in a stadium environment.
Mm-hmm.
And those cops are on heightened awareness.
Fair.
When we go to games, and this happened 2 years ago, we pull up to, and this happens almost every game of every stadium. If we think because we're the TV crew and we got a parking pass to the truck, Salk, that we can go through areas that are blocked off, oh, no, you cannot. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your parking pass says. Did we have a machine? Poor Barry. Remember big old Barry? Big old Barry from Alabama. Big old Barry tried to roll the window down, and the guy pulled a machine gun on him.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. Let's de-escalate this thing.
Yes.
So very heightened atmosphere around these stadiums.
Start with he did not handle the situation well. Not a huge surprise. Tyreek Hill seems to be an idiot. We're going to come back to that in point number 7. But point number one.
7?
Yeah.
Oh, I better shut my mouth then.
Tyreek Hill did not handle that very well.
Is that one?
Point number 2.
Okay.
He didn't do anything even close to warranting that response from the officer.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. He wasn't violent. He wasn't agitating. He wasn't arguing. He wasn't being disrespectful. There was no reason to go from, and this is...
He was being disrespectful. He wasn't listening to him. He didn't roll his window down.
There is no reason to go from keep your window down or we'll get you out of the car to, you know what, get out of the car right now.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no reason for that. That right there agitated. That was the first dude who said that. That was the first dude.
Okay.
For all the conversation that it was the second guy, that was the first guy who started it right there. It's like when, and I understand it as a parent, you go from, hey, I'm getting mad. If you know what, I'm not even going to give you another warning. Just do this.
Yep.
Well, that's what that cop did in that moment.
After he wouldn't roll his window down.
If he had left it as, hey, keep your window down or we're going to get you out of the car, I think that's an understandable point of view from the officer.
Yep.
But to say that and then not give him the opportunity to comply and instead drag him out of the car, put him on the ground on handcuffs, that's a pretty big overreaction, no?
Yeah.
Gigantic. Yeah. So, yeah, that was bad. That seemed to this point 3 is that set off the second cop.
By the way,
just
a clarification here, because I've now seen this a bunch of times, people saying he was driving 100 in a 50-mile-an-hour zone. I found an NPR article and a local news story there. It was like 60 and a 40. He was speeding, but it wasn't as
60 and a 40
ridiculous
every day.
as
not around a stadium. Not
every day of my
cops.
life.
You just not in a Lambo. Like there's some triggers there for probably them pulling them over. Like what the heck's going on here?
It's obviously the moment he said, you know what, get out of the car right now. The other cop freaked out.
Oh, yes.
Right? Then why we're gonna break your freaking wind? Like, dude. Yeah. Like, you don't need to go right there. Then they pull him out of the car. They hold him down. Like, come on. None of that makes any sense. And I guess my next point is, thank God for body cams. Mm-hmm. That's exactly why we want those body cams. Here's Julius Collins, his lawyer.
The person that Tyreek spoke with, who originally came to the car, he wasn't aggressive by any means. It was the other guy that came in that got super aggressive with Tyreek about the window. I think he even said, we'll break this freaking glass if we need to. And then he just snatches him out of the car. I want to say it looked like he opened up the door for Tyreek. And another portion is Tyreek actually put on his seatbelt. There's another body cam showing Tyreek putting on his seatbelt. So along with that, he's calling Miami Dolphins security to let him know what's going on. So that's the delay, that immediate portion that they're talking about. He's taking off his seatbelt and he's getting Drew Brooks on the phone from the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, and I don't think you need to be calling anybody while you're being pulled over. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. That feels like, again, no.
I thought it was Drew Rosenhaus.
I did too. That's what I thought.
Probably Drew Rosenhaus.
No, because both he and Calais Campbell said the same thing.
Oh, interesting.
Calais was like, hey, I'm going to get Drew Brooks on, or whatever his name is, on the phone.
Okay.
No, that seems actually to be the case. Last thing here. I really wonder if this arrest was similar to the one when he allegedly threw his pregnant girlfriend around like a rag doll, punched her in the face, sat on her, punched her in the stomach, and choked her, according to, and I'm quoting here, the police report obtained by the Tulsa World in Oklahoma. He pled guilty to that, by the way. That's not just alleged. He pled guilty to that. I wonder if it's similar to the arrest when he allegedly broke his 7-year-old's arm, or when he allegedly assaulted a marina worker last year on Father's Day. I wonder if those arrests were similar or different. Tyreek Hill is not a martyr. Tyreek Hill is not a good guy who got caught up in a bad situation.
He's made some.
He's a bad guy who got caught up in a bad situation, and the police officers handled it even worse.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend to know my last point here, Brock. I'm not going to pretend to know what a law enforcement officer faces throughout the day. It's difficult, I'm sure. I'm sure it's an incredibly dangerous job. And while I've never gone on one of those ride-alongs, I've certainly spent a lot of time with Don O'Neill, who's been on many of them. And I'm sure it's an incredibly challenging, dangerous job that keeps you on edge. But watching that video and watching others like it makes me think there has to be a better way than agitating like that. There is no cause for treating him that way in that moment.
No, neither side de-escalated the situation at all. And I read a lot of cops kind of talking about that. Your job in that situation is to de-escalate. De-escalate the situation. You don't need to make a scene. You're right outside the stadium. You're going to throw, I mean, just in, probably livelihoods are going to be lost in this. Certainly suspensions are going to be in play.
Probably should be.
And as they should be. Like, your job is to de-escalate. Tyreek, your job is to de-escalate. Roll down the window, right? Give them whatever information they need, and you could have rolled into the stadium. But he did not want to do that in that moment. He did not want to listen. I'm Tyreek Hill. I'm playing in this stadium right here.
He did not say I'm Tyreek Hill, to be honest. He probably should have.
Yeah, I'm going into the stadium. I'm what everyone is here for. And those environments, having lived it for 18 years and beforehand as a player, are heightened environments of stress. Like they do not want to be the cop that has something blown up outside, right? I mean, it is a heightened, and even for the collegiate games that I'm a part of, as I said, it is heightened in the number of run-ins that we have with some of the law enforcement as we try to find a way to the parking lot and to where the trucks are at the stadium, and you cannot go here. And we've had some incidents where I have just learned to just shut your mouth and just do not say anything in those situations.
Yeah, no one comes off looking good here. I think that's sort of the more giant overarching point. No one looks good. If you're sitting here saying Tyreek Hill is totally innocent and he's a great guy and this and that, no, he's not. But if you're in any way defending the cop's behavior in that moment, I got news for you. That's totally inappropriate as well. Yeah. I don't know how anybody could look at either of them in the situation and say they're absolutely right.
Yep.
I just don't see that.
Mm-hmm. It's about balance. So today is about balance.
It's all about it.
It's all about balance. That was our sabermetrics conversation. Yeah. That was our de-escalation conversation. What is it going to be with Elmo in 20 minutes? How are we going to stir? Is Passan going to be stirred up on this? Did you send him some of those quotes?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I'm curious to see. Sometimes Passan's one way on text and another way on the phone. He's going to be in the airport when we talk to him. But yeah, it'll be. Sometimes Jeff and I get into it. I don't think that's going to happen today. Jeff's in 20 minutes. Need to Know is next. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Thank God for this defense. Defense kept you in the game until you started to figure some things out.
People keep saying the defense was really good, but they still gave up 20 to a rookie quarterback. Hang on just a minute. They gave up a pair of field goals in the first half. The offense gave up 4 points. They didn't allow Bo Nix to get into the end zone until late in this game. The defense was incredibly effective, particularly in the third quarter, but yes, in the first half. I think in the third quarter, the Broncos had 19 net yards.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, guys, I don't know too many things or programs or anything that are as successful and as effective as Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. When I first did this last year, really, I lost 35 pounds in 8 weeks. I did it without being hungry. I did it by eating real food that you buy at the grocery store, nothing prepackaged, no medication, no injections, nothing like that. And there's a really great plan that when you follow it, allows you to keep that weight off. They really teach you all about the sustainability of it. And over the summer, I maybe let myself go a little bit, so I jumped back on the plan here for the last couple of weeks, and I just can't believe how effective it is. I've essentially lost close to 20 pounds in 3 weeks, and it just works. I'm not hungry. I'm not irritable all day, at least no more than normal, and it's not too restrictive. It allows you to still eat some really good food, great recipes, tastes good, and as I said, you buy it all at the grocery store. Here's what you want to do. If you've let yourself go and it's time, call 425-588-0080 or go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Are you putting off your new kitchen plans? Why wait? Hi, Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Call today and ask about our trade-in sale. Years of experience, thousands of happy customers. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600 or heritagehomecraft.com.
I juggle a lot. And managing constipation with belly pain from my irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, with laxatives and fiber isn't enough. My doctor recommended a way to get ahead of it. Then I said yes to Linzess.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back, I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
This is Dr. Andrew Elshouse of Revive Men's Health. If you're always feeling tired or moody, or your sleep is poor, you have low libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health Seattle at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
All right, Seattle fans, the gloves are off. Techline has the strongest warranty in the business. Give Techline a call and we'll come out for a free inspection. Take advantage of our easy financing and our summer special. Trust Techline.
The Mike Macdonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible, it's happening. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 9/22/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eagle bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Between his hobbies and decades of work in a boatyard, Philip had put his body through a lot.
I'm an avid fly fisherman and an avid skier. It takes its toll.
Not to mention one other thing.
I had a near-fatal motorcycle accident. Absolutely obliterated my lower left leg again.
Philip couldn't live with the pain anymore, so he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
Listening to all these radio spots, I said, what do I got to lose?
What was your experience like with Dr. Wagner?
What I was so impressed with Mark about is that how often you have a surgery like this, and the guy calls you the next day to see how you're doing. I can't say enough good things about the guy, honestly.
And how are you feeling now?
I have no pain, none. Zero.
Wow. So would you recommend stem cell therapy to others?
I'm a fan, believe me. I'd recommend it to anybody.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
How about the 1-0 Seahawks tied atop the NFC West? That sounds nice. Of course, it's only 1 week into the season, but better to be 1-0 than 0-1. And very nice to have our first Mike Macdonald show yesterday. I enjoyed it, honestly, Brock, from start to finish. He's an intriguing and interesting dude, and he seems to have done a smart job of embracing some of the past without being beholden to it, right? We talked earlier this year about taking down some of the pictures and the basketball hoop and making that building his own. He's done that. But that doesn't mean that he hasn't embraced some of the most important parts of the old regime, specifically this from Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome. I'm there, and then I was like, okay, like, hey, what's up? And then I'm thinking that was it. And all of a sudden, there he is again.
Did you even know him?
Well, so we've met a couple times, and then, I mean, I've just been, like, personally, I mean, how are you not a huge fan of Marshawn Lynch? And, you know, it's funny, we talk about, like, team DNA and who we want to be, but there's a quote that he said out there that I can't repeat. I guess it's my radio show now. I shouldn't be using that language, but everyone else knows what I'm talking about. But that's part of our team DNA. He's right in the thick of it. So, yeah, it was awesome to have him around. He's, like you said, he's America's guest, but he's also the Seahawks guest. We'd love to have him, you know, whenever he wants to be here.
Yeah, so if that quote is part of your DNA, this is the quote.
It just clicked in my mind that
if you just run through somebody's face, a lot of people ain't gonna be able to take that over and 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 over again. They just not gonna want that. Think there's a deeper metaphor there? Run through a motherfucker's face, then you don't have to worry about them no more.
Just part of the DNA now, Brock.
Is he, and I mentioned Dave Aranda down there, Baylor, and Aranda actually told me he studied up there in Baltimore, so I should have put those two and two together there. And Aranda said the exact same thing in our production meeting, kind of some of his philosophy this year as well, is just, it's all get simple. Just run through their face. Pretty much what I do every single morning on
Is
the
that
show.
what you do? Is that what you consider your job to be?
That's my mindset.
Wow, that's
you first, Lyle second, not Mora. No, Mora's
you don't run through
bystander.
Mora's face. That's nice of you.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Mariners back to 3 games out, but not in the West. Nothing changes there last night as the Astros were also off, but the Twins lost. So current situation in the wild card is Mariners, Red Sox, and Tigers all tied 3 games behind Minnesota. It's an interesting stage to be set for a 2-game home series here against San Diego. Great pitching matchup tonight. George Kirby, Yu Darvish. I'm going to the game tonight. Looking forward to watching those two. 18 left to play, 12 at home. So that's your situation. And the Mariners claimed lefty Austin Kitchen off waivers from Miami yesterday, Brock. So everything's fine.
I often wonder how in the world do you hit Yu Darvish?
He's got like 12 pitches.
I mean, Luke Raley said the other day about the pitcher there in St.
Kyle
Louis,
Gibson.
the only guy that got after them, that he had like 5 pitches working. So just kind of take your guess. When Yu Darvish is going, and by the way, he's been beat up this year, just 50 innings pitched. So it's not as if he has been his normal Yu Darvish, as he's kind of had to battle some injuries. But when that guy's going, we have seen him get some errors. I don't know.
He's
Honestly,
so good.
I don't know how you hit that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a lot of, I mean, actually the two of them tonight, George got a lot of pitches. And when he's going, you can't hit him either. So hopefully in the old aggregate, they can find a way to, remember they won 2 down there in the Eddie Vedder Cup. We could possibly forget that down in San Diego. Hopefully they can take these 2 at home as well.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
The Niners look pretty good wrapping up the first week of the season last night. They beat up San Francisco. And I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers quit for a second time on that field. He sure didn't finish the game. They weren't down. I mean, they weren't going to win, but generally, quarterbacks finish those games.
You got to protect the old
Do
guy.
you?
I think that was their mindset. Yeah, not gonna win this one.
And then why do you just ignore your coach on the sideline when Nathaniel Hackett comes over, your friend, your lackey?
Right.
Sort of like when you make them wait by the side of the road rather than coming to talk to them when they drive and fly all the way to your house. And you say, oh, I'm with my shaman. I can't go hang out with you right now. You're going to have to wait outside. He really is a piece of work, man.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yep. You know what else is a piece of work is that San Francisco run game. It doesn't really matter who it is. Kyle Shanahan, like his old man Mike Shanahan, didn't matter if it was like Olandis Gary or TD. Didn't matter if it was some guy that nobody's ever heard of or if it's Christian McCaffrey who's out with an Achilles and a calf.
Mike Anderson.
Yeah, Mike Anderson, another one back there in Denver. You can go roll through you want to roll through the list?
It's really those 3.
Oh, it's just really those 3. That's all you got. It didn't really matter who it was. Super productive. 28 carries, 149 yards. San Fran looked locked and loaded, man. All those weapons, all the play action, all the creative
see
run.
Their right guard, their rookie guard, Dominic.
Oh gosh,
something?
from K-State, Pooney.
What did you think of him?
He was a tackle at Kansas, not Kansas State. He was a tackle at Kansas and a good player, and he's a violent.
They were raving about him on the broadcast last night.
Yep.
He was picked 4 picks after Christian Haynes.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
So is that just something to watch? I'm not saying he's better or that the Seahawks screwed up, but while Christian Haynes didn't play, that guy was getting a lot of positive attention from the pundits yesterday.
Yeah, he was a tackle and a pretty good tackle at Kansas. So I don't know if they projected him as a tackle and thought, but they slid him in at guard and pretty physical dude.
All right, there you go. That's everything you need to know. 15:15 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. We're doing a little answer the question jerk later. I got some questions that came in via Twitter. We'll do that at 9:45. So as we get closer, I'll solicit some questions.
So have we landed? I know we got a show meeting after the show today.
Yeah.
Have we landed on Wednesday being mean tweets and Thursday, obviously?
Yes.
Here's the thing.
I think so.
Okay,
yes.
so that's every
That's sort of the
Wednesday.
plan.
Every Wednesday, mean tweets.
Yes.
and we got a few. I probably got to. I'll send you guys a couple more.
Okay.
We probably got to add a couple more to those.
Well, if you want, you can just send Brock a mean tweet now and see if he finds it, and we can try to make Lyle read it.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
I might need some help from the people at some point this week too, Brock. I'm going to the Gorge for the first time this weekend. I was invited to go. I've never been to the Gorge.
Winona and Clint Black this weekend?
No, I'm going to see King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard this weekend. I knew you'd love that. Again? King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, Australian band, and a bunch of my college buddies are going. Said, hey, we want you to come to the Gorge. And I was like, all right, I'd love to.
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
And when I said yes, I was kind of under the impression that we were going to be staying in someone's RV. And I was like, yeah, all right. Kel's RV, sounds good. But I don't think there's enough room for everyone at Kel's RV. So I think a couple of the guys are there. And then I said, well, where are we staying? How's that work? Oh, we have a campsite. And I said, we'll probably be camping. Which, okay, I just texted back, how do you define camping? Because camping means a lot of different things to different people, right?
I mean, I think tent.
Okay, but camping could mean we're going to be in his RV. It could mean we have, sort of a whatever.
Right.
The response I got back was passing out in the field with a bunch of crazy people. And I was like, well, that does not sound like something I want to do. So for those who have camped at the Gorge, I think I could probably use some advice on how I want to handle this situation. I'm planning to bring a tent.
In an hour?
I don't think we need calls,
but we need probably
I'm gonna bring a tent. Yes. I'm gonna bring a blow up mattress. I'm gonna bring a sleeping bag and some other stuff. But what does this actually look like in terms of a post-concert scene at the Gorge trying to camp there?
For King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
For King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Yeah, I think 9:30, a couple calls.
I don't think we're going to do calls on that.
If you're an experienced Gorge traveler.
Yes.
If you're an experienced, maybe you're going to go see King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Maybe you're going to be there. Yeah,
we're not going to take calls, but I would definitely like some texts.
I'd like to hear from Larry at Hanford. I bet he's been to the Gorge.
979-3776. You guys can jump in on that. We'll talk to Jeff Passan and see whose side he comes down on the great analytical debate of 2024. Are we actually talking analytics still? Unbelievable. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
Hawks Live.
Thursday nights from 7 to 9.
Live from Bellevue Square Center Court. Join former Seahawks Michael Bumpus and Paul Moyer as they go deep on the Hawks with player interviews and opponents' analysis.
And we look like offensively the team that we thought we were. How do we win a football game? That's what makes you a great quarterback.
Every Thursday night throughout the Hawks season.
Geno Smith has himself a day.
Presented by the Dining District of the Bellevue Collection.
On Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
All right, I know everyone's trying to squeeze in the last little bit of summer. Heck, I was just here telling you I may be out camping on Saturday night. So there's a lot still, well, at least a little left in summer. But if you weren't able to get that big roof done, the big project you wanted done on your house, guess what? There is still time to make it happen. I know the days are getting shorter and temperatures are dropping. And while the window is getting closed, don't worry. You can still get it done with Riverside Roofing. Here's what you got to do. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. You'll see the quick quote system there. Enter your info. Riverside Roofing will quote your job in less than 60 seconds. So do it right now. You can put it off. Sure. That's not going to make the problem go away. It's only going to make it more difficult later. So trust Riverside Roofing with your roof replacement. I did, and it worked out great. They're certified Tesla roof installers. They use the catch-all system to protect your lawn, and they are Master GAF Elite certified. You can find them at riversideroofingllc.com. They are the roofing company you can trust.
Are you a skilled plumber looking for a top-rated team? Join Ben's Plumbing, rated 5 stars for exceptional service. Enjoy great pay and benefits, a supportive team, and a non-commissioned plumbing career. Apply now at bens.plumbing. That's bens.plumbing.
Are you putting off your new kitchen plans? Why wait? Hi, Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Call today and ask about our trade-in sale. Years of experience, thousands of happy customers. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600 or heritagehomecraft.com.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow grow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you. Guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
As a Washington State business, you can take advantage of Labor and Industries no-cost safety and health consultation program. We can help you build out your accident prevention plan, meet safety obligations, and reduce your risk of costly safety citations. You can have us look at a single item or your entire facility. And consultations are confidential, which means you will not be cited if a hazard is found. You'll just need to fix it, and we can help you with that as well. There isn't a safety question we can't help with. To learn more, visit lni.wa.gov/consultations.
You're free now. Free to fill your feed with impossibly chunky chunkers who chunk harder than you ever thought possible.
Cats, corgis, babies, baby penguins, baby pandas, chunky baby pandas.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things. Free to open a world of remote work and a portal into Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine, and then some. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service in select locations only.
Seahawks Player Spotlight.
Man, it felt good to go out there and be able to contribute.
Exclusive interviews with your favorite Seahawks.
You know, we got a genius as the head coach.
Every day with Wyman and Bob.
If you've been in a wreck or a fender bender,
You have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility, not just where your insurance company tells you to go. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. With over 25 years of auto repair work, they'll exceed your expectations.
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
At Accurate Auto Body, all their work is performed by certified technicians, only using OEM parts to guarantee the safety of you and your family. For the best in auto body collision repair and customer service, give them a call at 425-883-2450 or AccurateAutoBodyWA.com. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends and explore the lively nightlife scene. The dining district at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at BellevueCollection.com/dining district.
O'Brien Auto Group has some of the best new car brands in the Northwest. Those great new vehicles make the best pre-owned vehicles as well. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for the best factory certified vehicles. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for a large selection of the best pre-owned cars and trucks. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. Choose from hundreds of SUVs, trucks, hybrids, EVs, and more. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. One site is all you need. That's OBRIEN Autogroup.com.
O'Brien. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
A lot of great advice coming in, actually, on the Gorge. Two things you probably haven't considered but could save you. Toilet paper, which I always bring camping, and earplugs, which I hadn't thought of, but that makes some sense. I'll probably have them for the show. All depends on which camping section you are in. All right, good stuff, and I'll read through more of these as we go. It is time for our friend Jeff Passan, who joins us right now. Good morning, Jeffrey.
I hear there's been a little beef this morning. Do we have some fight action going on?
Well, before we get to that, we're going to do something we've never done on the Passan Show ever. We're going to start with personal time with Passan. Very simple question. Do you camp? Do you go in a sleeping bag? Are you willing to put yourself in a tent?
Those are two different questions, because am I willing to? Sure. Do I? No. And it all goes back to when I was 11 years old at Racket Lake Boys Camp in upstate New York. And I was really homesick, like desperately homesick for like the first 3 weeks of this 8-week sleepaway camp.
and we were on a camping trip, and I took solace in writing. I would write notes home to my family, and I took my stationery on a camping trip, and it rained that night, and we had these leaky garbage tents, and it got my stationery all wet, and it was like the last straw for me. I was, it didn't ruin camping for me, but it definitely put a
damper.
Yeah.
How old were you when you first started going to sleepaway camp?
I said I was 11, so I was actually 10.
Yeah.
So it was 1991. I was I turned 11 like a month after I got home.
Wow. Brock always makes fun of me because at 9, I took off for 8 weeks in Maine. Did the same thing.
Yeah.
I know a kid who ran away from Camp Alton in New Hampshire. He made it all the way to the Greyhound bus station before they finally caught him and brought him back. He hated it. All right. Jeff, we'll talk about the Mariners in general and their chances and the wild card teams and all of that. But yes, Brock and I were arguing a little bit earlier. I sent you over some of these quotes from Edgar Martinez yesterday. And his sort of distaste for analytics and his desire to go back to some of the more traditional stats. What did you make of it?
Let's start by saying this. Edgar Martinez knows more about hitting than just about anyone. He is a Hall of Famer. He was an incredible hitter and had the plate discipline that I don't think was appreciated at the time. But now it's almost like he's got this Juan Soto type eye, if I'm going to compare him to anyone in modern baseball.
Yep.
That being said, if you are going to be a coach for a major league team in 2024, 2025 and beyond, and you are not willing to accept, teach, acknowledge some of these principles, you are setting yourself up for failure. And here's why. Because all of the players who are coming up through systems in Major League Baseball right now are not just indoctrinated into this, but they like it. They like the information. They like the data. That's what they grew up with. That's what they know. That's the language they speak. And if you're a coach, the number one goal you have is being able to speak the language of the players who you're trying to teach. And I worry that if you're talking in generalities rather than the specifics that they are not just used to, but are seeking out on a daily basis, that suddenly you're not, even with your Hall of Fame credentials, you're not going to register as being helpful to them because you are not, as Edgar Martinez hitting coach, going to be hearing what they are trying to say, and thus the communication breakdown starts.
I understand all of that. I think the key word for me, Jeff, is balance. I think you can absolutely have a coach like Edgar on your staff that didn't care about these numbers, that cares about feel, that's a Hall of Famer, that commands the respect of these guys in ways that, you know what, maybe a very numbers-driven guy that never really did it before is going to look at it differently. And I think you kind of need to have all types of those different coaches. And I do wonder that if some of this is going to swing back a little bit, that you have gotten, the game has so caught up in chasing velo, in chasing exit velo, in chasing some of these things from an information standpoint, that you have lost some of the feel. I think of a golfer who chases exit velo and chases ball speed and loses the feel and the shaping of shots and how important it is to have actually 8 different shots in my bag to be able, you know, on this course to go right to left and left to right and a power fade and a short fade and all of the different feel that comes with it versus I just need to know my launch angle and my ball speed and my exit velo. I just wonder if that pendulum can just swing a little bit.
I am in the process, Brock, of writing a story on this. And this is not like a Julio Ichiro story. This is a story that's actually going to run. And
well, with Edgar, Julio's the best he's ever been. So that I think that story's thawed. He's not getting ready to go.
The evolution of the Julio story, by the way, when it runs next spring, which at this point it will, it's going to be
so good.
It's going to be. No, it is. It's one of those where I'm kind of glad that I took time because the premise of the story applies in a much different way now. And so applying it from the past and then after this season, it's going to be an interesting dichotomy. But going back, I don't think you're wrong that the pendulum could swing in the opposite direction. Here's my problem. Your suggestion is that Edgar having this other, quiver of arrows, so to speak, where he's focusing on feel and on all of these very subjective things as opposed to the objective measures that players are used to. You would seem to be saying that there needs to be somebody else who can provide that, whether it's an assistant hitting coach or someone like that. And I think a big issue with the Mariners so far this year has been the lack of a commanding voice. First it was Brant Brown, and then he got fired, and then it was maybe Jared DeHart, and he got fired, and there were a bunch of roving coaches coming in leagues at all times. And honestly, like players kind of didn't know who to listen to or who to go to. And to me, when the Mariners are going through what they're going through offensively right now, and the coaching by committee has not worked, I almost wonder if you need one really big, stable voice who can bring everybody in. And if that stable voice, who you're wanting to bring everyone in, is just straight up shutting out part of the process that at least half, and I would venture to say more than half of the hitters on this team and in Major League Baseball rely upon, then are you limiting the ability of those players to succeed?
Yeah, I agree with that long-term, Jeff, and you and I think see this mostly very much the same. I'm pretty concerned about any disparagement of incredibly helpful information that is very challenging to win without. And I think you bring a great perspective there talking about the players and their view on the whole thing. Edgar did not, unlike Dan Wilson, Edgar's not signed up here to be the hitting coach long term. He signed up to finish out the year and kind of take it from there. I do think it's possible, as much as I don't like that kind of talk, that it's exactly what this team needs for the last month plus of the season, to just go out, tune it all out, and just go hit.
Simplify.
And it's funny when Edgar you're absolutely right. Edgar's not a Hall of Famer without people coming around to recognize the importance of all of the stats that he's now not railing against, but talking against. These are the things that make Edgar great. I don't know that you need to focus on those things as a hitter or a player or a coach in order for them to be great. I think you better choose those things as a GM, and you better understand them as a manager. But does a player actually need to focus on exit velo in order to get great exit velo? I don't think so. Do you need to focus on base percentage in order to walk a lot and have a great on base percentage? No. I think some of those guys do it naturally or just work on the pieces. Like if you focus on scoring runs and RBIs, will a lot of the other stuff that we want come naturally?
Yeah, when it comes to exit velocity, I do think focusing on it helps. Because, the story that I'm writing right now, let's think of it this way, what hitters have to deal with, guys. They have to deal with facing pitchers who can go inside of a lab and say, you know what, I want to throw a splitter. Bryce Miller has done it. Logan Gilbert has done it the past 2 off seasons, right? And they have put together over the course of days, weeks, a month or two, a devastating pitch that they've added to their arsenal. And Logan Gilbert in particular, he's a 5-6 pitch pitcher at this point. And so when pitchers have the ability to go out and learn a new weapon within a matter of weeks or months, and hitters, what do hitters do? Hitters can train to swing their bat faster. It's an uneven playing field. It's an imbalanced game. And, hitters are at such a disadvantage right now. I'm not trying to give the Mariners excuses because they have none. Their offense has been absolutely horrendous this year and is the reason why they're not in the playoffs. Their bullpen's helping out. But it is mostly an offensive problem at this point. But it's not uncommon. Offense across the game is terrible right now. Like, it's a real issue. And so I think my problem with what Edgar said is the idea that there is a right way and a wrong way. I don't think that there is. Analytics are not going to work for everyone. Simplifying is not going to work for everyone. What your job as a hitting coach is to find out what is best going to work for every individual player and make sure that he has the resources to find the best version of himself.
Well, that would be hard to disagree with right there. I think the three of us could probably all co-sign on that. So 18 games to go. 3 behind the Twins. You're locked in there with the Red Sox and the Tigers in that chase. 4.5 behind the Astros, who you will see for 3 of your 6 away games. You do have 12 at home, 6 out on the road. Handicap the race here over the final 3 weeks.
I mean, they've got a tough road to hoe. There's no question about it, but I don't think they're out of it either. And considering where the Mariners have been, that's kind of remarkable. Having those 12 at home, I think it gives them a chance. I think it gives them a better chance than people are probably recognizing. And if the starting pitching can continue on its season-long heater here, and if the offense can be more what we've seen lately, where, you know, a couple of double-digit run-scored games in the last week, and, I mean, going through a week with only 1 shutout is like cause for celebration. I mean, their schedule's tough, right? San Diego's playing really good baseball. The Yankees are a really good team. Going to Houston is no fun. But, man, I don't think they're going to make the postseason, but I think they're going to finish a lot closer, and we're going to have one of those one-game back situations where it's going to go down to the absolute end. And I hope that the heartbreak isn't there. I fear that it's going to be part of the narrative and story of this season, though, and frankly would be in line with how the season's gone.
A little curious what you think about the 3 pitchers they're going to face again as Texas rolls in here, late this week, when they're going to face, I think, Kumar Rocker and Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer in a 3-game series. What's that going to look like? Because I don't really know what any of the 3 of them are right now.
Well, have you seen what Kumar Rocker's been doing?
I know he's been dominating the minors, right? He's been unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean he's 97 to 99. The slider's been otherworldly. Like, he's the guy. This is the closest we've seen from Kumar Rocker to the freshman at Vanderbilt version of himself, when he looked like, oh my God, this guy's going to be the best pitcher in the world. So he's been awesome. And that was, honestly, calling him up was a bit of a surprise for me. Didn't think that was going to happen until next year, but I think they want to get his feet wet because they anticipate him being in the rotation next year. Jacob deGrom is the best thing you can say right now for the Mariners is that Jacob deGrom very likely will not pitch more than 4 or 5 innings. And he will probably be on a fairly strict pitch count. But the stuff, again, you know, it's very rare that the Mariners run into starting pitchers of the opposite team, who can outstuff their guys. Both of those nights, I think, you know, is it going to be Logan Gilbert against Rocker? I think that's right.
I think so.
The quality of the stuff is pretty close. Nobody in the world can outstuff deGrom. Like, he's just got great stuff. And Scherzer, we thought his season was over, frankly. And so it will be interesting to see what he's got coming back. But it's one of those series where you're like, Texas, they stink this year. It's going to maybe not be a cakewalk, but, you know, should take 2 out of 3 in that series. And all of a sudden you're running into 3 guys and it almost feels like opposing teams do when they face the Mariners. Like, good God, what is this starting pitching we're facing? And why is this not fair?
Hey, Jeffrey, I don't think we've asked you. I haven't had the chance. What did you think of the timing of the Dipoto news and extension?
Well, I haven't given much thought to the timing, honestly. I think the extension itself, based on everything that has happened, says more about the Mariners' ownership than it does anything. And that is that they want stability and that they believe in Jerry Dipoto. And, has what he has done warranted that belief? There's a very reasonable case that is not so. But I think if you're taking a look at this holistically and long term and looking at what the Mariners are going to be in the future, I still think this is an organization that's absolutely on the upswing. I think their minor league system is going to be spitting out some really, really good big league players over the next few years. But I really do wonder, guys, if we're going to look back on the 2022 to 2024 seasons where they had 3 full years of exceptional health from their starting pitching and say the Mariners missed their window. Maybe a new window opening up with the bats that are coming, but this window of pitching, I just have a hard time seeing them continue to replicate it because of what we see throughout the rest of the sport, where starting pitchers just don't stay healthy. The Dodgers have had like 25 starting pitchers go on the injured list this year with catastrophic injuries, and the Mariners somehow continue to throw the same 5 guys out there every 5 days and get great performances out of them. And, they are the outlier of outliers, and for Mariners fans' sakes, I hope that continues. Realistically, I can't imagine it doing so.
Well, and it might not continue after today. I mean, we're going to wait and find out what's going on with Luis Castillo. It's not an arm, it's a leg, but still, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
It's just a hamstring. I mean, Salt's had a hamstring. It's just a
So
hamstring.
you said last week, Jeff, that you would start seriously considering trading one of your big starting pitchers this offseason. And your comment, I think, was whoever you think has the least chance of staying healthy. So let's assume that that's Brian Wu just because of where he's been health-wise. If you were to trade Brian Wu, what's he worth?
He's worth a lot because when he's on the mound, man, he's so good. And I think I think there are teams out there that would say, they would never say this publicly. They'd say internally, we feel like we know how to keep guys healthy. And we brought up Baltimore. I'll say this. One team I think is interesting is Boston. Remember the prospects Baltimore had in recent years that they promoted? Boston doesn't have quite the depth, but they've got a number of really, really good, like high-end hitting prospects. And maybe you don't get the high-end hitting prospects. Maybe you get someone from their big league roster. I don't think they would trade Jarren Duran, but they've got Ceddanne Raphael who can play center field. They've got Roman Anthony coming who can play center field. Can you get Marcelo Meyer? Probably not. But then again, Raphael is a guy that is signed to a reasonable contract long-term, plays shortstop and center field. They're just the matchups there with the Red Sox, who desperately need starting pitching, and the Mariners, who desperately need bats. Seems to be one that would fit.
Big picture baseball question, Mr. Passan. More impressive, Ohtani 50-50 or Judge 1150 OPS in today's game?
Yes.
Ooh. I think Judge's season is certainly better than Ohtani's. So I will go Judge, but that's not to discount. Like 50 home runs is amazing, and 50 stolen bases, even in this environment where stolen bases, are much easier to get than in the past. I don't care. You still have to steal 50 bases. Like, it's still something that, even if it's easier, is not an easy thing to do. And so I'm not trying to discount Ohtani. I still think Ohtani's the best player in the world. I still think I don't know if he's the best player I've ever seen. I watched Barry Bonds in his prime, and he was pretty awesome. But just in terms of just overall performance, it's so hard to do what Aaron Judge has done in this hitting environment. And when you look, guys, at him compared historically, he's putting up one of the best seasons ever for a right-handed hitter, just in terms of how he's doing compared to his peers. And that context is really important because this hitting environment is hard. The league average is 244. Aaron Judge is hitting 320. The league on-base percentage is 314. Aaron Judge is getting on 45% of the time. The league slugging percentage is slightly above 400. Aaron Judge is slugging 700. 450 points higher of OPS than the league average. It's twice as good as the average hitter out there. I understand that Ohtani's 50-50. It's the first time it's happened or is going to happen. But I don't want to get so caught up in round numbers that I look past the incredible performance that Judge has.
You know what's incredible? You bring up Barry Bonds, and I know there's obviously some issues with these numbers. Compared to the rest of the league, Aaron Judge has a 218 OPS plus this year. Bonds from 01 to 04. 259, 268, 231, 263. By the way, in Bonds' final season at age 42, he had a 169 OPS plus. Those numbers are insane. He had a 1422 OPS, Brock, in one of the worst hitting parks in baseball in 2004. Why isn't he in the Hall of Fame again, Jeff?
Juice.
I mean, we know why he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Put him in the Hall of Fame. It's ridiculous.
I agree.
Jeff,
I agree. He should be in the
stop
Hall of
keeping
Fame.
Barry Bonds out of the Hall of Fame. I'm putting this on you.
Okay, number one, fool. I voted for him when I voted.
Okay.
Number two, clown. I stopped voting because I was so appalled with the process that was keeping him out.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
Number three.
How is your nonviolent protest working?
Yeah, it's not doing great.
So look who you're calling fool. All right, Jeffrey, thank you. Great stuff as always. We'll do it next week. We'll be 1 week closer to the end of this season. Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Hey, boys.
There you go. There's Jeff Passan calling me. What did he call me? A fool and a clown?
I really wanted to know what the next one was.
After clown?
A good old Brock triplet. Yeah, going from fool to clown
Yeah.
to...
What comes next? I think Jeff... I think he was out of words, unfortunately. He needed to use that ChatGPT to come up with another word. All right, we got one more hour to go, Brock. Let's come back to some Mike Macdonald. And also at 9:30, I've got some sound, another argument about these Seahawks. You and I didn't have it. It's another argument. Other people arguing. And we'll have some answer to the question, Jerick. We got a lot left to go. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
This is Seattle Sports.
Gino steps up, has running room, down, spine, touchdown, Seahawks, Gino Smith, right up the gut.
And I think once we kind of got this slim down a little bit, we were able to run the ball and do exactly what we wanted.
Walker turns upfield, he dives in, touchdown, Seahawks. Checking the dictionary under answer, and that's what the Seahawks offense just did.
We are the home of the Seahawks.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Would you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible, it's happening. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 9/22/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eagle bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Can't fix everything for everybody, but you can be there and listen and try to help with what you can. You're there to support them, and that's the best that you can do.
Justin Meek. He's the leader and caretaker of the 380 people who consider Lee Johnson their home.
This is my life. This is my family's life. The people that work here, they're my family. When something's not right with them, it's not right with us. My wife and 3 kids in the house, there's always something wrong with somebody at all times. And if there isn't, then something's wrong. When you have 388 employees, there's never a day that everything is good everywhere. You have to be okay with that. You have to look at that as opportunities to gain a better relationship with people and help them through what they're going through.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Hey, babe. Yeah, the bank password is Moneybags, but a $sign instead of the S.
Mr. Moneybags here is about to get his identity stolen.
Wait, what?
If he used 1Password, he can share logins, credit cards, and other important information with just his wife, not the whole store. Sir, your card's been declined.
Again?
Security is complicated. 1Password isn't. And right now, get a free 2-week trial at onepassword.com. That's 2 free weeks at onepassword.com.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Prostate cancer is the second most common cancer in males. When detected early, it can be curable. Swedish CyberKnife offers a non-invasive and highly precise treatment for prostate cancer, typically requiring only 5 treatments. CyberKnife patients experience minimal side effects and can continue normal activities during treatment. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
Hey everybody, Bob Stelton here for Johnson Fitness and Wellness, where I got my home gym. Now the difference? Their expert staff. They ask great questions like, what are your fitness goals? What kind of space are you working with at home, and what's your budget? Johnson Fitness and Wellness experts get you the right machine for your home gym dream setup. And right now, in-store only while supplies last, mention this ad and our listeners get an indoor cycle for free with Select Force USA Home Gyms. Shop stores in Bellevue, Tacoma, Linwood, or visit johnsonfitness.com.
Well, it's buck season at Pacific Power Batteries with our $10 battery bucks for your next trip when you come and buy $100 worth of merchandise. Yes, these are for our dear customers who could use the dough. Pacific Power Batteries has lots of batteries for all of your outdoor gear this fall season. At our stores, some folks might get that deer in the headlights look at the variety of batteries for just about anything. Family owned since 1985, Pacific Power Batteries with batteries for everything.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print everything for my business. Sure can. And the quality is guaranteed? Absolutely. Plus, you'll beat any price quote. Is that right? For sure. How about this one? We'll beat it. Can you print menus, signs, and flyers? Sure can. How about blueprints? No problem. What about red prints? Not a real thing. What if they were? We'd print them. And they'd look amazing.
Now at Staples, print more, save more. Up to $150 off your print purchase. Ends 11/2. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details and staples.com/price match for in-store price match guarantee.
At the UPS store, we understand the importance of a first impression. That's why we're here to help you put your best foot forward and be unstoppable with our printing services. With high-quality paper stock options, banners, business cards, menus, and more, we make sure your small business stands out and your message reaches the masses. After all, we're the one-stop Prints That Pop store. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today and get your print on.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour is brought to you by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Give me a freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
Brought to you by Simply Seattle.
We're going to cue you a minute.
It doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Had a lot of good response, Brock, on the trip to the gorge.
Oh, nice.
Bring a battery pack for the phone. Okay. Yeah. Bring dude wipes. The bathrooms are disgusting. Okay.
Yeah.
I actually have a ton of dude wipes because I ordered something else and they sent me dude wipes. Amazon sent me it wasn't what I ordered. They just sent it to me randomly.
You like dude wipes?
I've never used them before.
I'm very, very in between on.
I've never had them. I've never used them. I didn't even try to buy them. Okay. I was buying something else, something random, and they
just got thrown in.
No, it got put in place. I have to call Amazon and be like, could you send me what I actually ordered?
I would try it before you just bring it.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying. Just try
we've
it
been
before
using
you
them for Gertie. They're very helpful for Gertie.
Oh, very helpful for
Great.
dogs.
Yes,
Sure.
but for me, I don't know. Anyway, all right, so I'll bring some. It
Okay.
gets light early, so bring something to cover the tent to make it dark, okay? Earplugs for sleep, but don't expect to sleep. Well, I got to sleep. I have to sleep.
And you do sleep. I mean, let's be fair.
I
You
can
do
sleep most anywhere.
Yes,
I'm not expecting that to be a problem. Bring comfortable shoes, okay. If you haven't bought a campsite, pay for a top tier one. Yeah, it's too late for that. Bring food and snacks. Don't depend on the venue for food. Okay, I can do that.
Walking tacos.
And befriend your neighbors.
Okay.
All right.
All sound good counsel.
Yeah, okay. I think I can handle all those things. I think I'll be all
just keep
right.
picturing how much you complain about being cold just at VMAC in the morning.
I know. I don't like that. I don't like being cold, but I have a
So bring
very
some
warm
layers.
sleeping bag.
You got your
and
gloves. Yeah.
I have I'll bring layers and I'll bring a blanket. And this time I'm not messing around with some camping pillow. I'm bringing my actual pillow. I'm bringing it with me. Enough.
know.
I
Good
want
to
my
know.
Brand
actual
new
pillow.
one?
Yeah. It was cheap. If something happens to it, I can buy it again. Like I'm bringing a regular
An air
pillow.
mattress. What size?
I
air
have a
mattress?
queen size pillow top air mattress.
Oh.
Yeah. It's
Pretty
like
good
more.
size.
It's like larger than my bed. I mean, like it's very thick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone likely to crawl into your tent with you. Not
You
like
think so?
Well, one of your buddies. Yes.
Oh. Well, they're gonna. I mean, I have a huge tent, so I think we'll be.
Great.
The three of us are probably gonna be in a tent. There's. Yeah.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got
Sounds
a
like
giant
good time.
8-man tent. It fits 2 queen air mattresses without a problem.
Hey, sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Hey, before we get to Mike Macdonald, cut or two here, can I just say one last thing? I just my instincts. And every once in a while, Salk, not every once in a while, you actually are very loyal and you're a good teammate and you come to my defense a lot. And when people are like, "Oh, Brock's an idiot, didn't know anything about baseball. He's so stupid," blah, 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 you'll actually be like, "Well, actually, there's times where his instincts have been pretty good."
Mm-hmm.
Here's my instinct. In the next 3 to 5 years, and Divish said this on his way out the other day as he was making fun of my 5-head. I think in the next 3 to 5 years, with where pitching is, and the imbalance, as Jeff Passan said, I think the prioritization of bat-to-ball guys is going to ratchet way up.
Sure. I think that's there's something to that.
Your ability to put that bat on the ball. It from the high school level to the collegiate level to through the minor league systems. That and I know that power is always going to be a wanted commodity. There is no question that's not going to surpass power, because you need power to drive in runs as hard as it is to score runs consistently. But that's my gut. That you're going to see a lot more bat-to-ball guys.
I think you may be right about that. I think the goal still is going to end up being getting on base, and on base percentage is still going to be more important than batting average. But that being said, if the pitchers aren't going to throw as many balls, you may need to increase your batting average, your on base percentage through batting average, not just through taking walks. But judging a player,
waste, to get these guys out of the game, and you saw that with the Oakland
to get
guys.
to some other ridiculous
Yes.
pitcher, though. I don't know whether that works the same way as it used to. I think the other thing that's maybe being missed here is that a lot of the job of the hitting coach has nothing to do with this. It really, I don't think, matters whether or not Edgar Martinez, I said this earlier and it kind of got lost, whether Edgar is, all in on analytics or not. A huge part of what you're asking your hitting coach to do is take the numbers that are being offered and determine which ones are useful and which ones are not. Let's say you're going to face a pitcher who you've never seen before. Do you want to know which parts of like where he's good and where he's not? Yes. Do you want to know the percentage of time he throws different pitches to try to help you in a moment where you're not just guessing, but maybe can at least use his past tendencies to try to figure out what he's going to throw?
Yes.
Like, I think that's why the whole idea of being negative about analytics makes no sense to me. Analytics isn't what it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Yes, it still means looking at things like OPS or WRC plus instead of just batting average and having a more holistic view of what a player is capable of. But a lot of it is just figuring out the best way to take the information we have, some of the probabilities we have, and give them to a player in such a way as to allow them to succeed against all odds.
And then knowing
if you're not
that
doing
player,
that,
Salk, yes.
you're not giving yourself the best chance.
But then you have to individually know that player and how that player responds.
Absolutely right.
Right, to that information. If you've got
100%.
and it just strikes me like, okay, so different sport, different game, totally get it. Head football coach, offensive coordinator, quarterback coach. Which one's the most important to a quarterback? The head coach, the offensive coordinator, or the quarterback coach?
Depends on the coach, the offensive coordinator, and the head coach.
I would contend the offensive coordinator, there is no question, is the single most important coach of those three to the quarterback when he is like under center, right? Having that play,
in that moment,
having that plan, having that understanding, being great at what he does to out scheme, out call, to create matchups, to give that guy opportunities. But that QB coach is super, super important. And this to me is where there's a corollary with that hitting coach, to make that quarterback comfortable, to make that hitter comfortable, to know what makes that quarterback tick. What makes Peyton Manning tick is not what makes me tick. What makes Geno Smith tick is not what makes Sam Howell tick. And your job as a QB coach is not to just be rote one way, this is the way I do it. It is to get the very most out of those individuals.
That's a good point.
You know, and I think in some degree, these hitters today got swing coaches of their own that they pay and they employ. Right? They have come up through the systems, as Jeff kind of laid out there, with a lot of different coaches. Some have very much programmatic ideologies, theologies within their organizations, if this is how we're going to go about it. But I think ultimately that hitting coach comes down to it like, man, can that guy make me comfortable? Does that guy relate to me? Does that guy get the best out of me? And this isn't to crown Edgar in 1 month of a sample size, but I think that there's just some trust.
I think that there is. I think you're right. And Edgar's done a great job. I just don't think it's for the reasons Edgar thinks it is. Like, I think Edgar's been wonderful. The results show it, and that's great. I just don't think he understands why he's been as effective as he is.
Let me read you guys this number. It's a month old, but this right here in a nutshell is why I just roll my eyes at batting average these days.
Lyle, I'm proud of you. Way to come in.
Would you let him talk?
Yes.
Let the man speak,
Okay,
please.
this is from Danny Vietti. It's as of a month ago.
Who?
Among qualified hitters since 2022, Luis Arraez has the highest batting average in Major League Baseball. It's at 327, or it was at the time as of a month ago. Kyle Schwarber has the 8th lowest batting average in baseball over that 2-year stretch, 217. Kyle Schwarber has reached base more times than Luis Arraez in that stretch. And that right there is why I say batting average is a totally outdated stat and why you need to use more things. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
That's hot. Wow.
Can you say that at the same time and still say that Luis Arraez would be a good fit for the Mariners and be a good player on this team?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I think gets lost. Lyle's not saying Luis Arraez isn't good.
Who would you rather have on your team, Luis Arraez or Schwarber?
Schwarber.
Yeah, Schwarber.
Schwarber.
Okay.
Schwarber.
Luis Arraez also doesn't play any defense. He doesn't run the bases. And Schwarber's kind of like that too. But yeah.
I'll take the power that Schwarber has built into it as well. Just to kind of finish a thought on baseball and football, as you said earlier, you tend to get grief sometimes for combining the two. I was having a conversation with Heather last night that made me think football and baseball might be two sports that stand alone in one way. Because I was talking about Cecily and kind of teaching her the sports and how much fun she's had watching specifically those two sports. Football and baseball are really complex.
Yep.
The rules are complex. And learning the rules and the strategies that go with the rules is an incredibly exhausting process. It's almost more investigative. Basketball, hockey, soccer are really all the same sport played in different ways, right? How do I put this object into that object, right? And, you're going to play against each other all the time. You're on offense, you're on defense, but you're the same person. They all are basically the same, and they're fairly simple, at least in terms of the rules. Football and baseball are both closer to chess. They really are. They combine athleticism with a thinking version of chess, and maybe it's why those have been my two favorite sports. I do love hockey. There have been times when I love basketball. I'm not knocking the other sports, but I think that football and baseball stand out just because of the complexity of the rules that go with them.
Pretty distinct. And we didn't even get to our Mike Macdonald sound.
No.
Going to have to do that in 20 minutes.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, well, I guess so. We got a fight to get to as well. We'll stick around. We got everything you need to know. Maybe we'll make fun of some other sports and insult them, and then we'll take questions for Answer the Question Jerk in about a half hour. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
You look at it, the Broncos scored 20 points. 10 of those are on the offense. Those 2 field goals, those are wins for the defense, considering where they started. Couldn't imagine a worse start, first 2 plays. Offense, Geno, O-line, keeping their composure.
That's what I saw from Geno. I was really surprised. And I looked down there with my binoculars. I expected him to be pissed off and screaming and yelling. And he was having a very calm conversation with his offense. So, yeah, kudos to Geno. No panic. That was key.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, this morning, are you in the market for a local, trustworthy group of pros to assist you with your mortgage needs? Hey, Brock Hewitt here. Well, you can count on Tila Mortgage. They have been the go-to experts. While many have opened and closed their doors in Washington, not Tila. They've been the experts for 25 years. And if you're 62 or older and you've heard me talk about these reverse mortgages, well, Tila can help you decide if that's the right choice for you and your family. If monthly payments are impacting your credit score and just killing your cash flow, Tila can assist you there too in consolidating your debts with proven programs like a refinance loan or a home equity line of credit, enabling you to maintain your low fixed rate first mortgage. Additionally, heck, if you're purchasing a new home, well, congratulations. Tila can help guide you through all the ins and outs of a home loan as well, with hundreds of 5-star reviews. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a trusted source for honest and ethical mortgage advice. Give them a call this morning at 206-766-8888, 206-766-8888, or TilaMortgage.com. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker, MLS 247-2046.
I don't want to dig up my yard if I don't have to. That's why I hired O'Neill Plumbing. They're Seattle's trenchless plumbing pros. All rooter, all trenchless, always professional. O'Neill Plumbing since 1917.
Welcome to the Safe Driving Playoffs. Today we've got Kevin facing off against his Thursday commute. He's off. There's a cyclist in the bike lane, and Kevin makes room. Incredible. Looks like there's a family at the crosswalk. He's slowing down. It's a perfect stop. Amazing technique. This community won't forget a safe driving display like that for a long time. Be like Kevin. Drive like a pro.
Brought to you by Washington Traffic Safety Commission.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back, I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
This is Dr. Andrew Allshouse of Revive Men's Health. If you're always feeling tired or moody, or your sleep is poor, you have low libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health Seattle at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. I'm a fifth-generation Pacific Northwesterner, graduated from UW and Seattle U School of Law. At Warrior Injury Law, we have years of experience in the trenches, fighting insurance companies for the people of Washington, my people. If you've been injured, you need a lawyer that is tough, confident, and battle-tested. Call us at 253-WARRIOR for your free case review. Warrior Injury Law, battle-tested.
Eddie's! You know, there's still time to get your roof done this summer with Riverside Roofing's quick quote at riversideroofingllc.com. Enter the details of your project and you're only 60 seconds away from starting on a new roof. At Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
If your home's heating system is 10 years or older, it needs a tune-up. Your furnace and heat pump work extremely hard, and after 10 years, wear and tear can cause a failure. The last thing you want this winter. Deere Services is now offering a heating system tune-up with a no-breakdown guarantee and no service fees for just $49. A thorough inspection and recalibration for just $49. Visit DEARservices.net. Make an appointment, and we'll be there within 3 hours. Deere Services, Seattle Seahawks, small business partners.
Now that you survived the summer lawn season, how's your back feeling after mowing, mulching, and weeding? How about your pocketbook from watering, fertilizer, and gas? Say goodbye to grass with a perfectly manicured, hassle-free custom turf installation from Synthetic Turf Northwest. Synthetic Turf Northwest has a fall turf blitz savings up to $1,500 off a flawless installation. Synthetic Turf Northwest, 425-788-0718. SyntheticTurfNorthwest.com.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, don't neglect maintenance on your vehicle. Keep it safe. At Bucky's Complete Auto, we have you covered with no credit financing. For over 50 years, Bucky's has been servicing and repairing cars and trucks with modern-day technology and good old-fashioned customer service. There's a Bucky's just about everywhere for oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Bucky's.com for the location near you.
At Mazda of Everett, you can always expect to receive exceptional customer service and exceptional deals. Mazda of Everett is a great friend of Seattle sports, and you'll be satisfied with both. Shop from over 600 new Mazdas in stock. And right now, they're offering 0% financing on all new Mazda CX-5s, CX-30s, CX-50s, and CX-90s on approved credit. Need more reasons? It feels like working with family when you work with Mazda of Everett. You will drive away happy. See for yourself at MazdaofEverett.com.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Yeah, Brock, I do have some Mike Macdonald sound to play. He was tremendous yesterday. Really enjoyed our conversation with him, and it makes me excited about the future of that. One thing I loved was just his common sense approach to a huge decision which needed to be made at the end of that game. Do you run it or do you throw it on that final third down where they ended up throwing to Tyler Lockett? And I know he gets a lot of credit for being smart. I think he is very smart. I also wonder if some of that is just a matter of he's able to use logic and common sense.
Oh, yeah, it's a sliding scale, but you did like quick back of the napkin math. You're looking at I think if I remember right, if we didn't complete that pass, you're looking at 140 with a timeout. I mean, they're in a 4-down situation anyways. That's plenty of time to go down the field. So we're going to have a 4-down situation on defense regardless. If we ran it and they used the timeout, you're still looking at maybe 140, but no timeouts. I mean, that's still a lot of time, to go down the field. And so we're like, shoot, I mean, it's basically the dang same situation. Let's go try to put it away right now.
And by the way, again, I guess this is a little bit of an analytics debate and conversation today versus the subjective or objective. There's a number. There would have been a line that would have changed that thinking. In the time.
As there should be.
If there's 40 seconds, you're going to run the ball. You're going to make them burn a timeout. You're going to kick it. You're going to make them go the length of the field with less than 40 seconds to go and no timeouts. But a minute and 40? With no timeouts, not that big a difference.
Right.
They're very capable of going up and down that field. So, yeah, smart people, it is, I don't know, maybe this is nearing 50 years of age, Salk. I think it's easy to label, this person's so smart, this person's so smart. You know who smart people are? Smart people are those that can communicate with anybody. To me, that's how I judge a lot of smart people. Can you communicate with really high-level, deep thinkers? Great. Can you communicate with really, really simple thinkers? Great. Can you communicate with the whole spectrum? And that's what I think the best football coaches in my life experience have been able to do.
So you don't think I'm a very smart person? Because there's a lot of people that I don't communicate with very well.
That's more of a character flaw than
it's a character flaw.
Yeah, than it is an intelligence.
Oh, it's just a character flaw. Thank
Yes.
you. Now I feel much better.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Mariners are now three games out after the Twins lost last night to Anaheim. So they're tied with the Red Sox and Tigers. All 3 games back. No, that goes pretty accurate. It's totally fine. I'll own it. Sounds good. I'd rather have a character flaw than have somebody not think I'm smart. Maybe that's my character flaw. All right. Anyway, San Diego in town for 2. George Kirby and Yu Darvish tonight. You got 18 to play, 12 at home. Possible? Yeah,
it's possible.
Possible. Likely? Still feels far-fetched.
Those Twins are struggling, huh? First it was
Everyone's
the Royals.
taken a turn, man.
Yeah, everybody has.
Same as last year, right? The Astros
Yes.
struggled for a while. The Rangers struggled for a while. That's, I know people get super mad about it, but it's why they do play 162 games and why you don't take any one snapshot of what a team's doing and make, snap judgments based on it. This game changes every
But
few weeks.
144 games in, there are a lot of areas where you are what you are.
Yes.
And the good news is you've been really good at home. The splits between your home and road, the splits between your pitching at the home and road, your splits of your win-loss, home and road, been pretty telling through 144 games, even through the peaks and valleys. You've been very good. Let's hope that continues because 12 of these final 18 are right there at T-Mobile.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
A quit or quit on national TV again. I wonder if anyone will talk about it. Probably not, but they should. Aaron Rodgers looked like he quit in San Francisco for the second time. Nobody likes to talk about how he did it in the NFC Championship game a few years ago. It's much more fun to make fun of Cam Newton for saying the way my leg was. But guess what? Aaron Rodgers quit also very much the same way when he decided not to go after a fumble, just like Cam Newton decided not to go after a fumble. You know what happened after that season?
Is A-Rod become like maybe your least favorite figure in sports? I know there's
Deshaun Watson's out there. There's some out there, but
See another
I think he's
on
the
Deshaun
one
this morning.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think he's the one that gets built up for a lot of the wrong reasons, and that a lot of his flaws he does take grief for, but not all of them. Aaron Rodgers quit on his team. That next offseason, the Green Bay Packers drafted Love, his eventual replacement. He then pulled a Brett Favre, do I want to play, do I not want to play, I'm a big baby, and eventually they moved on. Like, no kidding. He was an arrogant, selfish, egomaniac who forced his coaches to come to him and make them wait. It's all about him in every moment. And when the going gets hard, he quits.
And in a couple weeks, we get the documentary called The Enigma.
Ugh.
That is the Aaron Rodgers story. That's all could be totally
I can't wait. Boy, will that be great. In any event, the Niners look great. Aaron Rodgers quit. That's all you need to know, and we do that every hour.
Where are you at on Brock Purdy, by the way?
I kind of like him.
Would you pay him? Would you pay him $50 million a year?
$50 million?
Well, that's going rate. I mean, $60 million for Dak.
I have to pay him $50 million?
That's a going rate for your franchise quarterback.
Feels like a lot for Brock Purdy.
Actually, got to pay him $55 to $60 million for Brock Purdy.
I don't know if I'm paying him that, but I do kind of like him.
I will say he will be a fascinating, fascinating case study because Kyle Shanahan is shown with running backs. Like, he showed it last night. His dad showed it all the time. Like, do you not think that Kyle Shanahan could find the next Brock Purdy?
No. I don't know whether you just stumble into every Brock Purdy. We saw Kyle Shanahan with some other quarterbacks. It wasn't as good.
And they took a guy number 3, and they believed in that guy number 3.
And he was terrible.
Like, I can't play.
Right.
Yeah.
So I do think you need to have someone who can play, but I don't know if I want to pay Brock. It's a great debate. I don't have an answer for it today.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, though. If
all I
there's
know
going
is
to
that
be
I do like Brock Purdy.
If there's going to be an organization to do it, right? If there's going to be an organization that says we don't just do this because we have to do this because the market tells us we have to do this.
I think it'd be really hard for me not to pay Brock Purdy, though, after paying Brandon Ayuk. I'd rather pay Brock Purdy than Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather pay my quarterback that I know works than pay a wide receiver. By the way,
you've been able
Seahawks
to pay Ayuk, and you've been able to pay Trent, and you've been able to pay Christian because this guy's made $250,000.
But I don't want to pay Ayuk. Like, I'd rather have Brock Purdy moving forward than Ayuk.
Yeah.
Even though I get that Ayuk is a better
He and John
player.
Lynch strike me as the two minds in the whole market that would be willing to say we can find the next Brock Purdy, and we have seen the advantage of being able to pay Bosa in every other position because we don't have to pay $50 or $60 million to our quarterbacks.
That's true.
Those two strike me as the two that
I think
would have the mindset
some of it
to
might
challenge that
determine
market.
Brock, or might be determined by how they do this year. If they don't make the Super Bowl this year, at some point you're going to look at this and say, hold on. Yes, it's been a good run, and yes, you believe in a lot of that, but maybe you do need a better quarterback to win a Super Bowl. That is, in and of itself, if that's the goal, maybe that's the thing that's holding you back. Who's won Super Bowls in San Francisco? Joe Montana, Steve Young. I mean, like, maybe there is that conversation that happens eventually. Fun debate. Glad we don't have to have it today. We'll come back. I need questions. Text some questions in. I got a ton from Twitter. I got a couple that have come in, including a great one, Brock, that I know you're going to love already. If you got a question for Answer the Question Jerk, 866-979-3776. Text your questions in. We'll answer them in 20 minutes, right after a ferocious debate on the Seahawks that had nothing to do with us. It's next on Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Let's talk about the plays of the game from the Seahawks' Week 1 win versus the Denver Broncos.
Gino steps up, has running room, 10, 5, touchdown! Seahawks!
I mean, this is Gino just taking what the defense is giving him. But what I appreciated about this, Gino looks quick. He even put a move on the safety and made him stutter a little bit, and then he gets into the end zone. So Gino Smith showing like, look, man, I may be in my 30s, but them legs are still in the 20s.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, guys, the temperature is getting colder, and that may mean that it gets colder in your house at night. Or maybe it means that you get some rats or mice, other rodents that start eating the insulation. They destroy it, and now it gets even colder at your house. Well, this is why Crawl Pros exists, and maybe even more importantly, this is why Crawl Pros has partnered with Puget Sound Energy to provide special rebates on insulation work. So if you're a PSC customer and your home was built before 1990, guess what? You might qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. That's huge. Let them pay for it. Take advantage of these enormous rebates today. Call Crawl Pros and learn what's going on behind that crawl space or attic hatch for free. Learn what energy rebates you're eligible for. They'll go where you don't want to. Call Crawl Pros before the cold, wet weather sets in if you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic. Schedule that free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
How would you like to have a brand new roof in time for winter? And even better, how about an honest local contractor known for their quality work?
Can you have both?
If you use Asset Roofing, you will have both.
That's right. I'm Anthony with Asset Roofing, and we've replaced thousands of Western Washington roofs. We've replaced all types of roofs, both residential and commercial. We want to help local homeowners replace their roof before winter.
I can personally recommend Asset Roofing. I was impressed by their communication and knowledge. Their quality work and attention to detail made for a very pleasant experience.
I'm pleased to hear that. We strive to deliver a quality, long-lasting roof replacement you can trust and an experience that will give you peace of mind.
Now through winter, if you need your roof replaced, make sure you get a bid from Asset Roofing. Get a free estimate now at AssetRoofingCo.com. That's AssetRoofingCo.com. Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
Maura Dooley here. It's time to recognize a woman in our sports community with the 2024 Women of Inspiration Award. The nominations are in, and the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events, needs your help selecting a winner. Voting is open now until September 20th at woiseattle.org. The winner will receive a generous cash donation from WISE and their partners for the cause of their choice. Help honor a local woman today. Vote by September 20th at woiseattle.org.
You want to talk about this, Brock? You really want to do this?
I do.
You really want to get into this?
Yeah, I got some questions.
All right. Well, I got answers.
The Brock and Salk Show is brought to you every day by Simply Seattle.
You're losing your hair and you want a simple solution that works, and you want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration, from the experience itself to the unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, they were recently crowned 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185, 425-449-8185. If you qualify, get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185. Refine your hairline with a team that's redefined hair restoration. AdvancedHair.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
This hour is brought to you by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Yeah, we'll do Answer the Question, Jared, coming up in 15 minutes. Last couple minutes, if you want to send in a question, 866-979-3776, Mac and Jack's text line. And then also, just a reminder that tomorrow, after the show, Maura will be putting together the voice messages for Here's the Thing. So that's kind of your last chance. Go download the app. And you can leave us a message about something that's happened or something you think or something you disagree with or something you want to make fun of, whatever the case may be. You got to go download the app, and you can do that for Thursday's show. All right, Colin Cowherd, Brock, who you and I love, got into a little debate with John Middlecoff. Who's John Middlecoff again?
They host that podcast on The Volume, and he used to be I think he was an Eagles
former scout, right? Yeah. Okay. So Cowherd and Middlecoff. Now, Cowherd changes his view on the Seahawks like every 4 days. So, what he thinks necessarily isn't the most important part of this, but it's an interesting debate on whether or not the Seahawks are talented enough to have, a really great, successful season. Here's what Cowherd thinks today.
I think Seattle has elite talent. I just don't think people know the players, but Walker, their wide receivers, they have tremendous young corners. They got a consistent pass rush. They got the Murphy kid in the draft, the top defensive tackle. Fant left today. Geno is what he is. Like, he's a really solid, he's a great story. He is what he is. He's not going to lose you a lot of games. He's not going to win you a lot of games. But I'm watching that game today, and Sean Payton coached his ass off for a half. He got them. I mean, a lot of this was Seattle getting safeties, and it was quirky. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, by the second half, you're like, okay, now we're off script. And now Bo Nix is a rookie quarterback. And I'm watching that Seattle team, John. I'll just say it right now. Maybe they're not Baltimore. I think they are really talented.
Do you think that's true?
I think that the two key words and the adjective that was most important there is what he said early. Seattle has elite talent. Seattle has elite talent, just not been necessarily showcased, maybe not known commodities. I would contend and argue that at times have not been put schematically in the best position for success. Salk, when you grade out on PFF at 95, that is elite stuff.
And that's what Charles Cross said.
Yes. When you grade out above 90 as a corner duo in Woolen and Spoon, and Woolen in the mid-90s again, I think Spoon in the mid-80s. Again, this is pro football focused, but everybody is graded. So there's it's a level playing field in that way that these scouts and former players and former coaches all sit in their rooms all across the country, all break down the film, all put their grades on all the players. Eliminates some of the bias, and it's a scale for everybody. When you grade out in the 90s, that is elite talent for a game. That is elite stuff. And I think Woolen and Spoon and Cross have elite talent in them.
All right. Well, the scout, John Middlecoff, didn't see it quite that way.
My issue with them is they were poorly coached, but they've been winning 9 games. Yes. It's not like they've been winning 5.
And a good division.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So how do they go from, do you think they could win 11? I still think their offensive line has some question marks. They got the 2 safeties. They got punked. Geno has his limitations, But you're right. I mean, Kenneth Walker, there's a chance at the end of the year he's a top 5 running back.
Yeah.
How about the catch Lockett made to seal the game? He's their 3rd wide receiver. They still might be a 9-ish win team, but could they beat the 49ers in a game? Because they haven't beat the 49ers in 5 games.
Not
they
with
played
Geno.
2 years ago in the playoffs. Not with So if they can play at a more physical brand.
See, Lockett is intriguing because at this stage he's an elite player, but elite talent, probably not. K9 and some of those runs that he makes, Salk, is he an elite talent?
I don't know. That one's really hard for me because I just
close.
I mean, who was the guy playing last night for San Francisco? Like he looked great.
Right.
I mean, like, is that guy an elite talent? He's a nobody. He's not even their running back.
Right.
What's the guy's name in Miami? Mora Achane?
Oh, A-Chain?
A-Chain.
Devon A-Chain?
Yeah.
He's a little one-dimensional because he's so little.
Okay, but
49ers seem like, are they like an outlier? That's like the Shanahan thing. His dad did it too.
yeah, I get it. But okay, I've seen it in Miami with kind of random dudes. I think Ken Walker's good. I'm not saying he's not elite talent.
Is Boye Mafe elite talent?
Daniel Jeremiah sure
Daniel
seems to
Jeremiah
think so.
says, I buy all the stock in him. I mean, this will continue every single week to be the conversation. You wrote about it. We talked about it for months on end.
Yeah.
How do they do this? How do they go from good to great? How do they go from a 9-win, 8-win, 9-win team to an 11-win team? How do you unseat that behemoth that you watched again last night that's loaded at receiver, loaded at tight end, loaded on the O-line?
You need Colin to be right that they have elite talent, but people haven't gotten to know who they are yet. And in some cases, that's going to mean guys getting better this year, a little more from Middlecoff.
So I watched John Schneider's press conference at the end of training camp. You can tell he thinks they got something. He knows their team is talented, but like he thinks the coaching staff's pretty good. So like, can they beat McVay and Kyle? Can they split? Can they go 2-2? Because if they can, then maybe they're not 9-8, they're 10-7, and they're like the 6 or 7 seed. I would say that's possible. Not going to overreact to playing Denver, who it's just you could tell they're a little talent deficient still with the rookie quarterback.
And ultimately, Salky, Jody and her team had to make this decision. Ultimately, they had to, after the season ended, they had to make the decision is, man, John and his personnel department, his people added enough talent? Have they drafted enough talent? Do we have enough elite talent on hand here? Or is it, Pete just not necessarily schemed it and coached it and put that talent in the best position to develop it? Because I don't think it's an exposure thing. I think with Middlecoff or Collins, people just don't know them yet. I don't think it plays. I have a hard time with that one because in today's fantasy football, in today's just 24 hours,
but some of the defensive players and that stuff. I mean, that happened 10 years ago with the Sherms and the Cams and some of those guys. And
before you ever went to Super Bowls, before you ever became household names.
In 2012, they were already playing some really great defense and not getting any national pub for it.
Because as an organization, you were not looked upon nationally. As an organization, you were consistent.
And that's sort of happening again. I mean, they end up with the 7th CBS team to start the year.
I thought they were the 5th.
Whatever the last is, 6th, 7th, whatever the lowest. And I
don't think that's true, by the way. I think James Lofton and whoever's with Catalan, I think that they're below.
Not the way it was listed
Are you sure?
Whatever I read.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. I think it is more, just point blank. I think it's been more about the scheme over the last couple years that has not highlighted both offensively and defensively some of this young talent. I think some of this young talent also, what was the term for Woolen? He ate the cake. He
ate the big meal.
He ate the big meal.
That's what KJ said.
Yeah. I think some of that a season ago was he ate the big meal. But does Tyreek Woolen have elite talent? Does Devin Witherspoon have elite talent? Does Boye Mafe have elite talent? I think my answer to that, does Charles Cross have elite talent? There's a 5th pick in the draft, the 10th pick in the draft, the 2nd pick in the draft, Woolen the outlier, but ran 4.2 whatever. It's 6'3". Man, there is some elite stuff within them. And then you see them play it. You don't even okay, you played 60 minutes, right? Charles Cross did that. It's not is he capable? He did that. He just put together as good a game as an offensive lineman in the league over 32 teams. So he just showed you he could do that.
I think the questions generally become...
Can you do it again?
Yeah, can you do it consistently?
And over and over
again.
and over.
But also...
And over and over and over and over.
Also, do you have the elite talent at the right spots? Right? That's the other question that gets asked. And certainly it worked that way, on Sunday. I mean, they used their secondary to dominate that game. the offensive line, you got it at left tackle.
Yep.
What about the other spots on their offensive line? And you saw what it looked like for San Francisco last night, where they just totally dominated with that unit. What it looks like for Detroit, when not only do you have Penei Sewell, but you also have the other guys on that offensive line.
Absolutely.
And it looks different. It's a constantly shifting debate. So I feel like I'm being a little unfair and almost moving the goalposts on them. I don't mean to do that. I think it's a great question, and we're finding out over the course of the season, and both of them sort of note that the quarterback himself is not necessarily elite.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be able to beat San Francisco and the Rams and get past them if your quarterback's not elite? It's another question you got to answer.
If Geno plays that game, that he was graded out, and I don't know, 60 snaps, and he grades out, and I'm going to say 55 of those 60 were an ASALC. He plays that game, you're going to be an 11-win team. Now, the numbers are going to have to sometimes be better, and they will be. He's going to have to throw it more than 25 times a game. So I'm not saying replicating just those stats and all of a sudden ends a year 1-to-1 touchdown to info. But the point being, play to play, series to series, quarter to quarter, and over the course of 4 quarters, his grade sheet, I mean, I didn't get to see it, but I would bet my savings his grade sheet was phenomenal. Phenomenal. His decision-making, his accuracy, his throws on third down, his touchdown run, giving guys opportunities. He was 18 to 25. How many true misses did he have of those 7 that were true? Like, you can't miss that one. I mean, Bo had 10 of them, right? I mean, he did.
Well, he's not very good.
I mean, Brock Purdy had back-to-back throws. Aikman last night, it's like, oof. I mean, those are back-to-back throws that are just dirted. Like, Geno didn't have any of those. I mean, the pick early on where he gets hit in the legs, that was bad. That was really, really bad. But outside of that, man, he was really, really, really good. And the narrative, he's not going to change it. He's just not. The narrative's written for the 34-year-old. He's good. He doesn't win you games, doesn't lose you games. I argue that. He won you a lot last year. Nobody won more in the fourth quarter with game-winning drives. So I argue that a lot. And ultimately, 16 games, he'll get a chance to prove it and prove to everybody once again that he is not just some little game manager. He plays that game, that efficient, that accurate, they're going to win 11 games this year. Book it.
I'm just excited about the defense, man. And I wrote about them yesterday. I just could not be more excited about what Mike Macdonald has done there. And played you the sound earlier of how I think he may have even been in a bit of a disadvantage in his scheme because so much of what he does is all about planning and game planning specifically for the other team and their quarterback and their coach. And that was hard to do with a rookie debuting quarterback.
Thankfully, you got Brissett. Thankfully, you at least have one game with this new staff.
Brissett's been around for a while, and then you're going to get the real first cool test is going to be when Miami comes here in a couple weeks, right? That offense, some of the players that they have on that team, and Macdonald's going to have some real opportunity to scheme and to look at what they've done. That'll be, I think, the first test of where this defense is really at.
The old Macdonald versus
McDaniel,
Shanahan tree, right?
The Macdonald,
the LaFleur, McDaniel. Yep, McVay, a lot of mix in that. A lot of McDonald's, a lot of mix in that crew. So fun. All right, you ready to answer some questions?
Sure. Let's answer some questions.
This is Brock and Sox. Answer the question, jerk.
Keep asking questions. Come on, I'll answer them. Come on, I'm here. I'm going to answer your questions, dang it.
Answer my question! The question, jerk! Well, don't just stand there. Answer the question, jerk.
Hey, you know what we've never asked since, our producers have turned over the years, right? We started with Colin Paisley. I was talking about him the other day. Avery's got a friend named Paisley. And I was like, just kind of made me think of Colin, hoping he and Darby are doing well.
The Addams Family years ago?
I don't think
Wasn't it the daughter's name, Paisley?
That's Wednesday.
Oh, sorry.
What?
That's not it at all.
Wednesday, Paisley.
That's Wednesday.
And in LEY.
We had Colin, we had Wassel, we had Howdy, we had Bunker, we had Kyle. Right? Obviously, Justin was a part of the show for a while. Lydia was a part of the show for a while. And now we got more, and we got Lyle.
Yep.
One goal we've always had for the show, and I don't know that we've ever told you guys this, is to get John McEnroe on. It's never happened.
You've not shared that.
We've wanted John McEnroe on this show for at least 10 years and have not had any success. I think it's been longer than that, probably closer to 15. I really want to talk to John McEnroe, and I was thinking about him this weekend.
Yeah. You cannot be serious.
Yeah.
Part of the problem is he's always, it's U.S. Open, and that's right around football and Labor Day and the NFL starting.
Does Lyle know who John McEnroe is?
Yeah.
Didn't that line just give it away? You cannot be serious?
Yes. I was playing golf with this older gentleman the other day who was wearing a Jimmy Connors shirt. which I thought was funny. As we were talking about Connors, and he brought up McEnroe, and I asked him the question I've asked you a million times. Do you think John McEnroe would still have gotten as angry as he did with the replay system in tennis?
No.
And I think he would have.
Nah.
I think he would have found a way to get mad that's who he was.
Subjective versus objective.
But it was objective. Like, hey, man, it's out. What do you want to do? That ball was clearly in.
I do love that when he's on these tennis broadcasts sometimes now, and they'll go to the replay. It's like, God, it's so great they have that now.
Yeah. Yep. I would love to have that conversation with him. So, Maura, Lyle, see if you can get on that and see if you can get us John McEnroe.
Good luck.
It's all we've ever asked for.
Was that the great question that you were waiting for? Oh, okay.
Oh, you want a good one?
You said you had a great
Well, this came from the conversation we had
last week. I'm on great. We're on the great train.
Jerks, I got a question for you. Who's more upset at the wedding if Jesus turns water into wine, you or your wife? And then do you invite him to the baby shower?
Someone gives me unlimited wine at my wedding. I'm happy.
Yeah, who's upset?
We talked about this last week.
I'm not upset.
He upstaged the bride.
Molly's not upset.
I would be the one that would be a bride. I'm telling you, I don't care.
Yes, I agree. The greatest wine ever made, unlimited. Baby shower, second baby shower.
Do you know how much open bars cost at a wedding?
Yeah,
Sheesh.
But you've already done your open bar. Like, it's already out there. Plus, we don't know what time he did this little trick. It might have happened at the end of the wedding. Everyone's already, done what they've done.
So how could you possibly upstage if you've run out?
Well, it's all anybody's been talking about for millennia.
It's awesome.
So you're inviting him back.
Yes.
I think your wife doesn't say anything about how upset she is, but she's upset. Somebody upstaged her.
It's not the ceremony. It's not the beginning of the reception. It's the hero coming in. Save the day.
I don't know. Jerks, can we replace any and all action green uniforms with the throwbacks? Haven't they already done that?
No.
I thought the action greens were gone.
No, they'll still
Really?
do the action green. Yeah.
So they're going to do white, blue, throwback, action green, and gray, or the gray
And
gone?
they do all the gray and blue. They've got all the combinations.
I thought they had to remove one in order to add one.
I don't think so.
Really? I like the action
I'm
green.
all for that. Get rid of action green.
No, the action green's fun.
That throwback uniform, incredible.
You want the throwbacks every day?
I could.
I know a lot of people are saying that. I
could.
really like their just new, not new now, but the ones I've been wearing for the last 10 years. Like,
They're okay.
I really like those.
They're okay.
Really? I think
I would love
great.
to see.
I think they're one of the best uniforms in football.
I think you could take the throwback and tweak those a little bit and make them your everyday.
I just think if they're going to do the throwback, I want more of the green in it. I like that sort of greenish in the throwback, and they've gone really hard into the blue.
All right.
Jerks, will we ever have a Mike Macdonald show in person? Yes. I think so. They have no internet over there yesterday. I don't know what was going on.
Is it still down?
I don't know. Because we got another question about it. Jerks.
That'd be the Belichick Mayo way. Somehow shut down the internet in Seattle.
Has Salk been kicked out of the VMAC and taken off Stanton's payroll? He hasn't defended the M's in a while. All right, I was not kicked out of the VMAC.
Wow.
They just didn't have internet. I left willingly. As for being on the payroll and what I have to say about the M's, I'll state it again. I just say what I think.
I mean, Mike Macdonald did say he may have had something to do
That's
with the
true.
internet going out.
That's a good point.
How much do you get paid by Stanton?
A lot. Yeah, a lot.
Can I borrow some money?
Yes. What do you need?
Oh.
What do you need? Maura, totally reasonable interest.
I asked Maura a great answer the question off the air yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
And I think it's an important one. And it might be a deal killer for me.
Okay.
Does Chris cook? Her new boyfriend.
Yeah.
Is he a good cook? Does he cook?
What'd she say?
Says that he can. I haven't experienced it yet.
He hasn't had you over for
He's
dinner
out
yet?
most of the time. Huh?
Lot of talk.
No.
Lot
I've
of
cooked
talk.
once.
Interesting.
Lot of talk.
It's mostly eating out for both of us. Brock just wanted to talk about how much he can cook, which obviously
he just wanted to talk
it
about
is
Chris. All Brock wanted to do was find a way to mention Chris. You know,
If I could talk about Chris every day,
Yep.
and I figured learn something about him this morning.
Oh boy.
Every day I want to learn a little something about Chris.
Brock, here's one for you. Answer the question, Jerk. Rank these 3 types of burger patties.
Okay.
Kobe, grass-fed, regular ground beef. I think this is a very easy answer.
Okay, regular is obviously the bronze. It's not a question. And then it's grass-fed or Kobe. Kobe's one. Kobe you can eat. Salk loves to eat a medium rare. It's
Brock,
great.
you and I had that Kobe burger at Ascend that time. It's the best
incredible.
burger I've ever had.
Incredible.
Kobe is legitimately different.
I'm
if
gonna
you're
tell you-
telling me you can do a taste test with all the stuff that's in a burger and determine which one is grass-fed and which one is regular, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
You can't do that. So the answer is Kobe is one and the other two are the same, except that grass-fed's better for you.
Let me tell you, if you had some of the USDA Prime from Wyoming cow that I bought,
I believe that.
ground beef,
Yeah, I believe that would be different.
It's like Kobe. It's just the fat in it.
But regular versus grass-fed that you buy, you can't taste the difference. I don't think. Not in a burger.
Yeah, it's tough.
Now, maybe you can feel some of the health effects over time, but don't tell me you're tasting that.
It's like when I used to bartend and people would order some expensive vodka and Red Bull. I was like, you're not going to be able to taste it.
same
Anyways,
right.
what's
Yeah,
the point?
that's
So, yeah,
ridiculous.
once you put all the toppings and everything, condiments on a burger, I don't think.
Were you a good helper in that way, Maura? Would you try to convince them?
Should be like, I'd go with the well.
I'd go with the cheaper. Yeah, well, I
Guys,
mean,
go
it might,
the
but
well.
it might affect your hangover. So
True. It's a little more pure. Jerks, before you go camping, do you look at the weather forecast to better know what resources to bring? I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you not? I look at the weather before I do anything.
Did you find it odd at all? I didn't want to bring it up because we had a lot to get to with Passan. Did you find it odd at all that he called it when I was 10 with my stationery?
Well, no, not really. So
You didn't find that odd? Okay.
No, I probably didn't. I was surprised that he was still as homesick as he was by that point, but you know, it was his
My
first year at camp. I'd been
stationery
going for
got
2 or 3 years at that point.
drenched.
What I would say is, having gone to camp at that time,
yes,
no phones, no access to email or anything like that. The only way you would get in touch with your parents over the course of the 2 months was to write letters back and forth. So everybody was sent to camp with stationery.
But I think Brock's saying as opposed to just paper. Or
You were
notebook.
sent to camp with stationery.
Oh,
Everyone had
Are
stationery.
you talking about the word stationery?
Yeah,
or-
I'm kind of talking about the words.
Maybe that's an East Coast thing, but everybody
Yeah.
was sent to camp with stationery.
It's just very formal. Like I think most people would
That's
just say,
what
like,
you
I
had
had
to
a
do.
notebook.
That's
or
what we did.
paper.
Oh, no. You had stationery and you'd write a letter and like fold it up and mail it back. Oh, yeah. Everyone had stationery.
Very proper.
Yeah, I think he's right on with that.
Okay. Thanks for the
Jerks, would either of you ever get
clarification.
a pet monkey like Victor Robles if your kids
No.
really, really wanted one?
No.
Not just no. Hell no. Absolutely not.
Bruce Irvin, no.
No chance.
No.
Last one. You want one more? Lyle, you wouldn't get a monkey, would you?
No, I don't think so.
Good. That's a hard pass. If the late, and RIP to James Earl Jones, had done play-by-play or color commentary, which sport would you have wanted to hear him announce? It's got to be baseball, right? Just his connection to baseball?
No question. Not even close. Not even a second.
Why do you say football more?
I feel like yeah, you're right. There's more storytelling.
Too
in
much
baseball.
action, too much.
Yeah.
That's what,
You have
that's
way
what he's
more time.
famous for in so many ways.
Yeah, it's baseball.
Yeah. All right. Good questions. Good answers. Nice job, everybody.
Good answer to the question.
Yeah, that was pretty good. We're going to be doing that, looks like every Tuesday again. Kind of
Well, I
moving
need you to
forward.
fade that down a little bit less dramatically.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my
God.
As I learned from earlier, I just say my bad.
Yeah, there you go. Or tell Brock to shut up.
No, you don't.
You can do that.
Well, if you
tell
ever
a host
just
to
like
shut
walk out
up.
at some point, I'll hop on the board and I'll understand.
Shut up.
You don't tell another man to shut up. I hope you gird your loins too. We got our first show made in here in 10 minutes, Lyle.
Hope
you're
you're
ready.
prepared. Hope you're prepped.
I think HR is probably going to be there.
Yes, they should be. Daniel Jeremiah tomorrow for the second Daniel Jeremiah show. He loves one member of the Seahawks team. Find out who it is tomorrow at 8:30. Bump and Stacy up next. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. in the Hay
Barn.
See everybody.
Get to the chopper!
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Thank God for this defense. Defense kept you in the game until you started to figure some things out.
People keep saying the defense was really good, but they still gave up 20 to a rookie quarterback. Hang on just a minute. They gave up a pair of field goals in the first half. The offense gave up 4 points. They didn't allow Bo Nix to get into the end zone until late in this game. The defense was incredibly effective, particularly in the third quarter, but yes, in the first half. I think in the third quarter, the Broncos had 19 net yards.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Oh no, your furnace died. Your hot water heater's leaking. Your drains are clogged. Your AC's blowing hot air. Inconveniences? No, they're emergencies. Don't fear. Call Deere Services. Visit deerservices.net. Make an appointment and we'll be there within 3 hours or give you $100 credit. And get this, you will never pay a service fee. Bookmark DEARservices.net because if you're a homeowner, it'll happen to you someday. Deere Services, there when you need us most.
Have you heard you can listen to your favorite news podcasts ad-free? Good news! With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. Enjoy shows like The Daily, Up First, and Consider This, available ad-free on Amazon Music. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free. That's amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me.